Hello, it's Tuesday and it's time for your favorite breakfast show on TV. It is the AM show. I'm excited that you're well and alive to join us on the show today. I'm Emefa Akosiadetin, and as always, today promises to be another good one, very informative as well. And so I'm glad that you've made the time this morning. We shall bring you some updates in the news, and of course, Noella Karen Iyale is on standby. We shall as well bring you some updates in sports. Haruna Mubarak will bring you sports update. And on to news review. Dr. Ekwa Amwako, Deputy Spokesperson, Baumia Campaign, and as well Dr. Benatutu Boahene, Lecturer Political Marketing, and as well Emmanuel Enyima, Deputy CEO Minerals Commission. Now today, matters arising. Chairman Wontumi headed for court this morning on charges of mining without license and uprooting trees. Basically is that. And as well, the New Patriotic Party has turned down public hearing organized by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, on proposals to increase utility tariffs for the year 2025 or through to 2029. Now, they say the proposals are unwarranted and insensitive to the plight of Ghanaians. And also, again, still on the minority, it has criticized President John Mahama's recent engagement with civil society organizations on illegal mining, saying it is publicity gimmicks aimed at deflecting attention from his government's failure to tackle the Galamsey menace. You've got this and other matters arising on this very table for discussion this morning. And onto the big stories, we'll bring you an interview with CEO of Petroleum Hub, an entity with a vision to revolutionize Ghana's petroleum sector. How do they intend to do this and what's been done thus far? We'll hear from Dr. Tony Obin on the show, and so I'm excited for you to join the conversation this morning with your thoughts and as well via phone. If you're unable to join us via phone, you can as well join us via all of our social media handles. I love that you stay with us all through. Remember, the show is streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and X Spaces, so you cannot miss it at all. The AM show is sponsored by Kenoga Company Limited and Syntec Tang. Please stay for news.
Hello there, good morning and welcome to the news right here on the AM show. I'm Noella Karen Iyale. In our top story, the Health Facilities Regulatory Agency, HEFRA, has begun locking down health centers operating without valid licenses across parts of the Greater Accra region. The enforcement exercise, which forms part of a nationwide inspection, has exposed worrying lapses in Ghana's health delivery system, with some facilities using expired licenses dating as far back as 2015. My colleague Maxwell Akloboto was with the team and filed this report.
When sickness strikes, not everyone has the luxury of choice, and even fewer think to ask if the facility they trust with their lives is actually licensed to operate. The Health Facilities Regulatory Agency, HEFRA, took that question into its own hands. The agency responsible for ensuring health facilities meet national standards hit the streets of Accra for a surprise. First up, Life Healthcare Center inside Accra Mall. The operators didn't see it coming. Patients were already receiving treatment when the team walked in.
So all the 3 branches are without license, you agree?
Yes, sir.
So you lock all of them up, please. Are there any inpatients?
So what do we do? What
Turns out, the facility had been operating with a license that expired in 2015, a full decade ago. Management claimed they were in the process of renewing it.
That's 2015.
No, I'm saying that
Yeah,
you came and give us this thing. I'm not saying that.
So this one.
But HEFRA wasn't convinced. Within minutes, the chains came out and the doors were locked. Checks showed the company had another branch at the Junction Mall under a slightly different name. That one was also closed. According to the Health Institutions and Facilities Act, no person shall operate a facility unless the facility is licensed under this act. Clearly, that wasn't the case. Next up, Medline Medical Laboratories at Ashalibotwe. Their license expired in July 2024. 15 months on, they were still operating. Police had to step in, escorting staff out as frantic phone calls went unanswered. At Covenant Clinic Limited at Medina Social Welfare, the situation was worse. Peeling paint, leaking roof, and an open washroom right inside the ward. Still, no license. Then Doku Adi Memorial Clinic locked up after HEFRA confirmed it had no permit to operate. As HEFRA tightens the screws on unlicensed facilities, one question remains. How many more are still out there, operating behind closed doors, unchecked and unregulated? For JoyNews, Maxwell Akloboto's report read to you.
Well, still on health, experts in Ghana are considering ways to adopt emerging technologies like artificial intelligence in protecting women against the rise in cases of breast cancer and associated death in the country. At least 2,300 women in Ghana reportedly die from breast cancer from breast cancer in 2022, with over 5,000 incidences of the diseases pushing the ailment as the leading cause of cancer death. Now, as a means to cut down on the worrying statistics, Breast Cancer International is exploring technologies to control the disease. David Opoku joined the advocates on an awareness creation walk through the streets of Kumasi and filed this report.
Global Cancer Observatory data on Ghana suggests 5,025 new cases of breast cancer were recorded in 2022, representing 18.4% of all cancers diagnosed in the country. Out of the number, 2,369 women died, accounting for 13.2% of all cancer deaths. Other studies. This trend is attributed to various factors, including limited awareness, late diagnosis, and inadequate access to healthcare services. In intensifying awareness, the Breast Cancer International and its partners throng the principal streets of Kumasi to educate the public on the leading cause of cancer deaths in Ghana. Dr. Beatrice Wiafe Ade is the president and founder of Breast Cancer International.
In Ghana, every year more than 2,300 women die from breast cancer, and this is unacceptable. This is way higher than the number of people who died from COVID-19 within 2 years. And so in a year, if women 2,300 are dying, it means it's a very serious issue.
The event, branded the Royal Walk, highlighted the need for policymakers, civil society groups, churches, and charities to take action against breast cancer due to its socio-economic impact. The 2025 edition, themed "A Care Worth Fighting For," underscored the importance of year-round awareness campaigns to curb the devastating effects of breast cancer.
We allow a lot of women to diagnose early for meaningful treatment, and with the invention of artificial intelligence, we are bringing AI into healthcare practices to help us to leapfrog and do things that are being done the same way that they are doing it in the developed countries, so that our women will also survive breast cancer when it strikes.
Some survivors allayed fears associated with the disease.
If you detect the slightest sign or symptom in your breast, the best place to go is the hospital, but not prayer camps, not herbal hospitals, because I visited all those places. I went to one herbal clinic. They said, "Hey, you first kind cow no water." Remember what drama nanane, but the nanane that never was. I took the concoction, I took it over and over and over. The lamp never dissolved.
A lot of these breast cancer survivors, they turn out to be single mothers. Their husbands leave them, maybe because they can't afford the treatment and the medication, and they are left to their own fate to battle it out. So the woman has kids to take care of. So the financial aspect of it, the government should please help us.
David Opoku's report for JoyNews.
Moving on, some long-abandoned projects in the Chifuhimang Lower Dentra district have been completed under President Mahama's Legacy Project initiative, bringing renewed hope to education and healthcare. at the commissioning of the JHS block at Achiase and a staff residence for the Wawase Health Center. DCE Patrick Fiable said the initiative ensures stalled projects are completed to maximize public investment and prevent waste.
Education and healthcare in some communities in the Chufuhiman Lower Dentra district are seeing an upgrade following the commissioning of a 3-unit JHS block for the Achiase DA Basic School and a 3-bedroom residential unit for the Wawase Health Center. The district chief executive of Chufuhiman Lower Dentra, Patrick Fiable, details the completion and operationalization of the facilities and plans to include the school in the National School Feeding Program to boost enrollment and regular attendance.
What motivated me is the resources that were channeled into the project. Unfortunately for us, this government has what we call legacy projects, which means that every project that were initiated by previous governments, some even dated back to NDC's 2012 to 2016, we should tackle them. But this is a deeper project. When I came, it was near completion. So I have to call the contractors, aid them, and then support them both in resources and then also in words for them to finish the project. And when I finished, I thought it to myself that no, somebody started it. And the person is the former district chief executive, who happens to be a chief, then senior Henny. So I have to inform him so that both of us will go and do the honor by commissioning the project, so that the people will know that what was started has been completed. When we have the school feeding program, because it's a rural area, it will be able to motivate the children or to increase the enrollment.
District Education Director Lucy Jacente Suyankansa highlighted the impact of the new facility, adding an appeal for teachers' accommodation.
So with this new facility, it will help the kids stay here, have their preps, everything. We are told that when they get there, they stay during BEC. Some of them get pregnant. So with the facility here, parents can take care of them better. Teachers can also control and manage them better. We are appealing to parents and other organizations to come and help them with the teachers' quarters, so that when teachers are posted to this area, they will stay for a longer period.
At the Wawase Health Center, physician assistant Elizabeth Amwekugezi expressed appreciation for the residential unit, but appealed for the provision of a laboratory to enhance healthcare delivery in Wawase.
We thank them so much that they've done this beautiful thing for us. In fact, they started only this year and they've been able to complete it. We say ayuko to them, and we'll do our best to give them a good service. If we don't have a lab, we can do just the minor ones like malaria, typhoid, that is all. The rest of them, we have to use our discretion or refer them to go to other facilities. So when the lab is available, we'll be able to cater for every services that the patient wants us to render to them.
Well, let's still stay with education, because the Tertiary Education Institutions Network of the UNIMAC Institute of Journalism is appealing to the government to urgently address what it calls a decade-long accommodation crisis. More than 60 years since its establishment, the university still operates without a single hostel facility. There's more on the following report.
In the heart of Ghana's academic hub, a silent crisis brews. For over 6 decades, the University of Media, Arts and Communication, Institute of Journalism, UNIMAC IJ, has been producing top-notch journalists. Yet, its students and staff are forced to endure a harsh reality: the absence of hostel facilities on campus.
Accommodation is very difficult when you come to GIG. When I came here in the first year, I thought the school was having accommodation until I had admission and realized that there were no accommodations here.
The financial burden is palpable. Students are compelled to seek expensive private housing in areas like Osu and Cantonments, shelling out hefty sums for rent.
While students pay between 3,000 to 5,000 in tuition annually, they are compelled to spend as much as 15,000 Ghana cedis on rent.
The strain is evident in their academic performance, with many struggling to concentrate in lectures due to exhaustion from daily commutes.
You'll be in class and your mind will be somewhere, thinking about how to get money to pay for accommodation.
Long hours spent on the road, battling traffic, and navigating the city's chaotic streets have become a rite of passage for UNIMAC IJ students.
Coming from home is very difficult because sometimes you need to wake up very early, and before you get to campus, you are tired, so you'll be sleeping while in class.
The commute is a tale of endurance, with students recounting stories of missed lectures, lost opportunities, and precious time wasted.
I missed an exams because of the distance.
The Tertiary Education Institutions Network, TAIN UNIMAC IJ chapter, is raising concern, urging government to prioritize the university in its proposed Bed for All policy.
We are therefore spearheading the Bed for All policy campaign. Our goals are simple, Your Excellency. First, to advocate for the full implementation of the Bed for All policy by your government.
As government considers its Bed for All policy, UNIMAC IJ students remain hopeful that their plight will soon be addressed. Will this be the turning point in their decades-long struggle? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the students of UNIMAC IJ deserve better. For JoyNews, Edna and Daniela's report, read to you.
Let's shift our focus now to the energy sector, because power supply in the Ashanti region is expected to be given a major boost as the Volta River Authority, VRA, works around the clock to complete phase 2 of their Aromoso thermal plant station project, which completion of the project will add at least 100 megawatts of power, increasing generation capacity to 250 megawatts. It follows the completion of the first phase of the project on April 17, 2024, after the Volta River Authority successfully relocated the erstwhile Ameri power plant to Kumasi. There's more on the following report.
The Ashanti region, until recently, has been struggling with a reliable power supply. The growing population of the region meant increased capacity and a reliable power supply were needed to meet increasing demands. Residents of Kumasi welcomed the relocation of the thermal plant and investments in the power sector with the hope of seeing an improvement in power generation, transmission and distribution supply. But the Aromoso thermal plant station, operated by the Volta River Authority, which also ranks the Abuazi, Pon and thermal plants, has been running under capacity. 6 out of the 10 units of the plants have been in operation, leaving 4 units, including gas turbines and electrical switch gears, among others in Takrady. Chief Executive of VRA, Edward Obinkenzo, tells journalists engineers of the power company are working around the clock, bring on board 4 more units, which between them will add up to 100 megawatts. According to him, this will help address the power demands of residents.
The phase 2 comprises of moving 4 of the remaining S1 Ameri machine, which is the TM 2,500 unit, to Aromoso to complete the entire project. And from what we've known, Kumasi, central part of the country, there's a suppressed demand, which means there's no enough supply, so the demand has been suppressed. When we brought the 150, we saw that the demand has gone up. The additional 100 will make sure that they can take more power, make sure they have reliable supply of energy, and then the voltages, as all maintenance works based on transmission, distribution are carried out, they have a better energy supply to them.
Mr. Obinkenzo gave the assurance when members of Parliament Committee on Energy visited the thermal plant station to acquaint themselves with VRA's work. Deputy Ranking Member Collins Admako Mensah wants the government to increase investments for the Volta River Authority and in the country's energy sector in general.
We are very, very impressed with the work being done here at Aromoso. We watched a video where the movement of the Ameri plant, its relocation, its installation, and its operations, all being done by Ghanaians. That is very, very impressive.
Meanwhile, Parliament's Energy Committee has lauded the Volta River Authority for employing the expertise of Ghanaian engineers for the relocation and the commissioning of the Ameri power plant to Kumasi. From Kumasi, For Joy News, Oyemetiria reporting.
From the energy sector, Minister for Labour, Jobs and Employment and Member of Parliament for Wa Central, Dr. Rashid Hassan Pelpo, has pledged his commitment to working to improve the social and economic well-being of the people. Speaking at a press soiree in Wa on a wide range of issues, he disclosed support extend to security agencies in the region, including 100,000 Ghana cedis bounty for persons who are able to give accurate information of suspected persons and suspected killings, night private security men for allegedly ritual purposes. Now, JoyNews' Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafi Salam reports from Wa.
Minister for Labour, Jobs and Employment, Dr. Rashid Hassan Pelpo, enumerated several projects undertaken as the legislature for Wa, coupled with his role as a member of cabinet. His support cut across employment, energy, health, agriculture, water and sanitation, and education.
150 tertiary students receive full or partial financial support between January and September 2025, amounting to 335,621.13 Ghana cedis. Then 11 get farm scholarships secured for some students within our local universities. Then educational infrastructure. Part of the things I do is to make sure our students sit in decent places and are able to, so they can feel confident that they too are part of the system. So we try to provide educational infrastructure. I've done that over the years, but in the last few months, we have 3-unit classroom block for one model. We started it earlier, but we just handed it over. Then procurement of desktop computers for one senior high technical. Then procurement of cadet uniforms for one Islamic girls.
Dr. Rashid Hassan Pelpo recalled with nostalgia how some communities in the municipality used to struggle for potable water, which he pledged to fix upon being elected as a member of parliament.
At the time, people used to die because of cholera. No good drinking water. You go to communities and they were drinking from ponds. So I told myself, well, if I don't do anything at all, there are two things I will do. I'll create situations where doctors will emerge, and I'll create a situation where there will be potable water for everybody. I've almost gotten there. And so if you go to Sago, I made sure I supported them to get water, Kadoli, Tangaju, Nyolo, and about 13 broken boreholes, which have been reported to me, have also been tackled. So I have 16,600 within that space of period alone.
The Wa municipality in 3 years had recorded 19 deaths, majority of them being private night security men. In order to put a lid to the suspected murders, the Wa Central MP disclosed to the media support he has given to enhance security in the municipality.
I have supported some security arrangements to catch the people who kept killing people. I made a promise to even donate 100,000 to inspire people to get the person who did the killing or the persons who did the killing. I supported the police, giving them computers and even cash to make sure they buy fuel to run their vehicles. I've done all that. So I'm committed to peace. I work along with the traditional authorities, and you realize that at one point I came to donate 100 street lights to the Wana for him to put at various places in the community so that we can have the place brighten up. You know, people who are bad, they fear lights.
Dr. Rashid Hassan Pelpo concluded with a pledge to work for the people, demonstrating clearly his commitment to the people, showing that they matter, using his influence as an MP and a minister to work to improve the social and economic well-being of the people. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
You're welcome back. Let's do business now, and we'll begin with checking out what's happening in the currency market. And we continue to count down to Ghana's biggest housing fair. I'm talking about the EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair, and renowned as the home of quality and durable pipes. DPS pipes will be at the fair from October 23rd to 26th at the Accra International Conference Center, offering amazing discounts on your trusted product. So why choose DPS pipes? Take a look.
You don't just need quality pipes, but you also need safe pipes. Yes, you cannot use drainage pipes to connect a pressure water into your home. No, yes, it is wrong. You may have chemical leaching over the period of time. It is not. Some pipes are also on the market that are not registered. We are ISO certified, to be precise. We are also Ghana Standard Authority certified. So our pipes are good for all types of works, being it domestic, industrial, or agriculture purposes.
Hey, interesting. We have good discounts for people passing through, yes, even after the fair when they pass by your outlets too.
Yes, we have good discount for a group. We have discount for the plumbers, and even with the plumbers, as being loyal they are to DPS pipes. Yes, we are dashing them some machines for their works and all that. So when they get in touch, we'll take them through the process. When they buy their product from the shops, they should link up with DPS pipes, and then we'll give them something. For the real estate developers, we have a good package for them because most of the time their projects take time, over 3-4 years to be completed, and then the price is not stable as well. So we have something for them that they can also rely on us for price stability over a period till their project is over, and they can get it as and when they need the pipes as well.
And that's it for the business news, but we'll check out what's happening on our commodity markets as well. And right after, we'll bring you sport update. I'm Noella Karinyali. Stay tuned in.
Good morning. Let's do sports now on the AM show. My name is Haruna Mubarak. Now, Ghana's best World Cup run came in 2010 when the Black Stars were just one kick away from reaching the semi-finals. But midfielder Mohamed Kudus believes this current squad can go even further. Kudus, who scored twice in his World Cup debut in 2022, says qualification for the 2026 edition must be achieved at all costs.
You represent your country is like a one-time thing, you know. That's the one with the biggest emotion and feeling for me, you know. Means a lot wearing that jersey, you know, with a lot of pride, you know. Obviously, AFCON is also one major tournament that the country love and wants to participate in. Not qualifying was a big disappointment, but I think the full focus now is on the World Cup qualifiers. You know, we have to qualify that at all costs, and I think we are on the right path now. So yeah, just keep going. 2010, we went all the way to quarterfinals.
Suarez is sent off.
And I believe this squad can even do more than that, you know. But first we have to qualify, and then we can focus on the tournament itself. The belief in myself has always been there growing up from Nima, you know. The external stuff, like scoring, performing well, how people talk and stuff, it helps. But internally, the belief for myself will always be there, irrespective of whatever happens. It's easy to always focus on the bigger goal of wanting to win the Champions League, World Cup, but focusing on today's training step by step gets you there. So just one day at a time, do whatever you want to feel in your belly, whatever you feel in your guts, follow that, and listen to the close people, the loved ones around you, because there's a lot of noise around football. So you have to take the perfect advice for the people who will be there regardless.
Well, Kudus is already in camp with the Black Stars in Morocco, and of course he's joined by Mohamed Salisu and Caleb Yerenchi, bringing the squad to 23 players. Now the team will move to Menace later today to wrap up preparations for Wednesday's World Cup qualifier against the Central African Republic. The only player yet to arrive is FC Basel defender Jonas Ajeti, who is expected to arrive on Tuesday. Now Ghana currently top Group I with 19 points, needing just 4 to seal qualification for their 5th World Cup appearance.
Come on, don't get loose. Well done. Nice. Good play.
Away from the Black Stars, the Ghana Football Association has launched its Football for Girls program in the Takoradi metropolis. Now, the initiative, which involved 10 schools, forms part of the FA's women's football strategy. The campaign aims to promote girls' participation in football and bridge the gender gap at a grassroots level.
Finn Thompson, chairperson, Western Region Women's Football Committee. Well, I think the introduction for Football for Girls by the Ghana Football Association is very impactful, and we hope and pray kids of that juvenile age or the colt age would be encouraged to join. Also, parents should also enable their girls, allow them to play football.
I'm Emmanuel Agremensa, a teacher at Bedrado Methodist GHS and the zonal sports organizer for Takoradi Central. Today's exercise has been fruitful, and this is the first of its kind. Football for girls, I think that is the way to go, because most often we leave the girls behind, which is not helping. When you look at the women's premier and then Division 1, you see that we don't have the basis. So unless the girl is committed,
I'm Ankama Richard, the BU coordinator of ECMA, Efia Christianity Municipal. We've been here, the girls came, took them through aerobics, a few drills in kicking, playing and all those things, and we played a mini competition. Basically, this exercise has been very great. The participation by the teachers, the kids, even those who are not a part of the program, came around to support their schools. This program is meant to expose the girls to the soccer, so that from now going, they will realize that it is not only the boys that soccer is meant for, and now the priority is on them. even for those who didn't participate, for what we did for all of them and what they've seen, this will keep up their interest. So that from now going, wherever soccer is played, they will also be part of it.
Let's talk about the Ghana Premier League now, because Dreams FC are one of the struggling sides with no victory after 4 matches. They picked up 1 point and currently sit in the relegation zone. But their head coach is Winfred Dormon, and he has vowed to turn their fortunes around.
We're as good as your next game. We have to keep the pieces from the fishing game, both on the positives and face or travel to Taba to face Bidema, which also promises to be a tough call. But we have done it before, so we are not scared at all. We are not better. We have to resort to making sure that we are responsible for the challenges that confront us and making sure that we find solutions to our challenges. This is not a problem. It is a challenge, and we'll find solutions to fix it. This is what I can assure. And I will tell you would come out from these challenges.
Now, with the next game facing Mediama, what's the focus in training this week as to prepare for Mediama?
Well, we have to go back and review the game. We have to go back and do our recovery and corrections. We have to make sure that we keep the players mentally and physically ready. We have to also watch, their videos. I've also already started watching some of their videos and knowing which areas to attack. They are a good thing, but they also have fun. Weaknesses that we can also exploit. We have to be steady. We have to be focused. We have to be serious about our job and making sure that we work to turn the fortunes of this club. This is what I can promise, that our fortunes will turn, our fortunes will change.
Coach, finally, what message would you like to share with the fans after this results?
Well, it's the first time we pick a point in the ongoing Premier League. 4 games with money only to pick McMahon. Not the best of results. Disappoint. And we are playing some interesting football. We can only get better in the next game. And I can assure them that they shouldn't lose hope in this.
Legendary Manchester United goalkeeper Peter Schmeichel has given his assessment on the club's new shortstopper Sene Lammens. The goalkeeper joined United for £18.2 million in the transfer window, replacing Andre Onana, who departed for Trabzonspor on loan in the same window. Now, the 23-year-old made his debut for Manchester United against Sunderland and kept the club's first clean sheet after 7 matches.
Over the last couple of years, and how many goals we've conceded from errors from goalkeepers. What was it, nine errors already this season? That's a lot. It's too much. I go back to when I played. My instruction was, and I think it was the same thing with Edwin and with David De Gea. We had to save the team 10 points a season, not give them away. And that's what we've gotten used to in the last couple of years. Goalkeepers giving goals away and therefore we're losing points. So it was nice to see, first of all, a clean sheet and then a really good and solid goalkeeping performance. He didn't really have much to do for a long, long time in that game. He had the ball literally only by his feet, and he did quite well with his feet. But that you expect that from any young goalkeeper these days. That's how they're being brought up. So, there was some reminiscence of Edwin. He had a couple of long balls up with his right foot, a couple of long balls up with his left foot. And you think, whoa, that looks quite good. And then, of course, he had that first save down to his left post, which, expect him to save that. But, once he's done that, he's a goalkeeper now. He's saving balls. And from that, I think his confidence grew, and then he came for the crosses that he could come for. And you could see from the first cross he came from, you can see Matthias de Ligt, his reaction to it was fantastic. And that's what defenders, they want that when they're under the cosh. They really want the goalkeepers to come out and get the ball and take some of that pressure off. It's not happened at Manchester United for a bit. So, of course, the defenders were delighted, and it's far too early to talk about how good this guy is. He's only young. He's hardly ever played any competitive football, and most certainly not at the level of Manchester United.
And that's your sports on the AM show. My name is Haruna Mubarak.
This is Presbyterian Boys Secondary School, Presec Legon, one of Ghana's most prestigious second cycle schools with a population of nearly 6,000. The boys have been crowned regional champions in the Renewable Energy Challenge 3 times.
Energy is an essential part of life. The world is moving towards renewable energy. A competition of this nature will help unearth talent of these young ones.
Presec has a reputation in national competitions, from science quizzes to robotics. The Renewable Energy Challenge by the Energy Commission is only an addition to showcase their excellence. The school has built a health port, which is a renewable energy-powered medical station designed to provide vital health services.
So, this is where all the action takes place, from conceptualization to the final products. Let's get in and speak to participants of this year's competition. But the very first participant you are going to be speaking to is Francis Mba. Now, Francis, what does this competition mean to you, especially how the journey has been?
Okay, so I think it has been a really exciting one. The process of coming up with an idea, making it real, and then taking into a competition to compete with other students. It's a really thrilling process, and I can say that I speak for everybody when I say that we have learned a lot in the process. Right? Yes, this competition means a lot to us. It is an avenue for us to put into practice all the theoretical subjects that we've learned in the classroom. Right? Yes, and that's one of the things that we realized over time as we went into the competition. The more we worked on the projects, the more we were able to gain deeper understanding into the subjects that we were learning in the classroom, and it has been very beneficial to us.
So getting to the finals, the grand finale as it were, does it come with any sacrifices?
Oh, there's a saying that nothing worthwhile comes without struggle. And I think there's been many sacrifices that we've made along the way. I quite remember during the regional competition, the regional contest, on that day we had a mock to write, and so we had to go for the contest and then come and write our mock. Likewise with the zonal competition. It was just a couple of weeks before WASI. And so we had to make a lot of sacrifices. You know, the act of balancing extracurricular activities with academic work is not easy. And so every time we came back, we had to work extra hard to be able to cover all that we missed. And so I think we've sacrificed a lot, and then we are hoping that our sacrifices will pay off.
To excel in this competition, a lot of effort is required, and sometimes it takes a toll on academics. But with the support and prayers of families, the students are eager to shine.
So, Edu Kwabnayabwa is going to tell us what the driving force has been.
I would say, like, for every other competition, the desire to win. Basically, we've been in this competition for 5 times now. Our predecessors that been. Yeah, so we've come this far by God's grace, and I believe the desire to win is what is driving us the most. I would say family is key. Family is quite quintessential, because here and there, your family has to give you the permission to go on with whatever you like to do. You never know whether this is going to affect your academic works or what is going to do to your academic works here and there. Yeah, so basically, the prayers, motivation from our families, the little talks here and there, I believe is what's actually pushing us. Yeah.
Is Presec under pressure? Team member Ryan Anum Niyakwe shrugs off perception of being under pressure.
To be honest, we don't feel the pressure. We've given our best and we'll continue to give our best. Our team has faith in our abilities and we trust God with the outcome. We believe that our main focus is we are going to deliver our best on the final day, and we know that the win will surely follow.
Should you expect any surprise after the competition? Do you have anything under the hood?
We do certainly have things under the hood. But if we release them, then what's the surprise? So I'll definitely say that everyone should expect something from both the stakeholders and the school when you win the competition.
Preparing for the Renewable Energy Challenge requires all kinds of support, especially from the past students like Odadia 96, who have been with the team every step of the way. A unique gift can exist in raw form, but it takes tutors and trainers to help polish it. Head of Presec's Engineering Unit and in charge of student project, Obed Akom, also known as Pascal, has been guiding the boys from concepts to completion.
When the team comes out, we meet as a team, and then the students bring ideas as to how to, handle that particular team, projects that will answer the questions that are placed or the thematic areas. And then we start to work. Of course, like every engineering process, we conceptualize what we want to do, we do the research, the design, and then we begin to build. This is not a technical school, pure grammar, but thanks to the old boys, they provide us with some funds, and so we are able to get a few things, hammer here, tools there, and of course the school has provided this room, this is our STEM room, and so we do all the carpentry things here. We go through all of that in order to bring the process to, the projects that we want to do to fruition.
Leading the charge in this competition comes with great responsibility.
When Presec is mentioned, everybody thinks about maths and science quiz. Yes, we love it, and so we put in the effort. But you see, this competition helps us to see that it's not only about maths and science quiz, but then we have students who are able to do things with their hands, who are applying AI tools, technology and all of that to do things. And we are excited. You give them the opportunity and they're able to bring ideas and then put it together. It's exciting, really. Actually, the pressure we face is from year group to year group. The previous year group engage in the competition. The next year group want to do better.
The trainer is optimistic about the impact of their project, the health pot.
In fact, at the zonals, I mentioned that this year, we think our project is quite unique, right? Looking at the theme and what we have come up with, we think that our project really aligns with the theme, right? Yeah, we are talking about healthier future. And of course, we are saying that this project, the health pot, is the gateway to the healthier future. So, we think that we deserve to win. And so we are encouraging all, the Odadia family, all who have Presec at heart. We want to use the opportunity to actually thank the 96-year group, the Odadia's Abui Power Authority, who really gave us the funds we needed to get the project started, and look how far we have come. We are really grateful to them.
The health pot may look complete, but there is always room for improvement. How has the journey been for the team?
Of course, it's an engineering project, so anytime you think you have done your best, or when you go for competitions, the kind of questions that come, right? Then you realize that when you come back, you realize that, no, we need to do this, we need to up it here, we need to, sharpen this other thing. So, yes, we have identified weaknesses, some we worked on, others we are working on. We believe that come October 7, the project will be solid and it will be in line to win the ultimate.
For the headmaster of Presec, David Ojija, winning is only part of the story.
Let me say that we are not under pressure as it is, except that it will be strangely surprising if we don't win. We'll be surprised if really our project is not identified as the best. And I say this because we've been in the competition for a few occasions and other competitions. This year, our project is totally unique.
But what excites him the most is how the students are linking this project directly to STEM education.
In fact, Presec is predominantly a science school, and we do a lot of IT also. So we have quite a number of students who have interest, even beyond what they are taught in their classrooms. They do a lot of things, and when it comes to STEM, the foundation is science and mathematics. So there is some motivation, and because there's a competition, it's a drive that will push students into sometimes unimaginable areas of their competencies. So yes, when we go into some of these things, students devote a lot of time, they invest a lot of energy, and you'll be surprised that students spend their own money to do some of these things even before we even get to any competition.
Despite being happy for the rationale behind the competition, Mr. Ojija says there must be a deliberate effort to support schools.
There are so many students in this school who are into some of these projects. The only challenge we have is the resources to develop them. So as stakeholders of the school, our appeal is that we look at the support we give, such that if there is a fund for students who come out with anything, with a little support, they will be able to develop those things. This school will be proud of what the students are doing. And that is my call to all students in particular and all other stakeholders of the school.
He is asking for well-resourced clubs and societies that will give students other avenues for learning and innovation. The headmaster commended the Education Ministry for curriculum reforms, but says more needs to be done.
So I think that I will commend the ministry. Over a few years, the ministry has always revised the curriculum, but the resources to develop these things are what we are looking for. And I believe that not just the Ministry of Education, not just government, but all others will support government effort to ensure that we don't allow young boys and girls with fine ideas to just die out without any support and the country not benefiting from such inventions.
He puts the spotlight on technical and vocational education and training. He says TVET is critical for transforming ideas into solutions.
If we can look at this, especially this TVET education, yes, the grammar school system has been with us for a long time and people are struggling to depart from it. We have seen a boost when it comes to TVET education in Ghana now. Our expectation is that parents will also accept that when your boy or girl is sent to a TVET school, you graciously accept that because that boy or girl has something that cannot be developed by English or social studies. It will only take a technical knowledge to let that boy get to his future one day.
It's an exciting time for PRESEC, but he called for support beyond the Odadia family as the school goes into the finals on October 7.
Health sport.
Gateway to a healthier future.
Health sport.
Gateway to a healthier future.
Watch out.
Well, from the school authorities, trainers, and even the team representing PRESEC, a lot can be done in improving research into renewable energy in the country. From PRESEC, Legon, this has been Kwame Yanka for JoyNews.
Thank you for staying with us. This is the AM show and it's time for news review. And this morning we're joined by Dr. Ekwa Amako, Deputy Spokesperson for the Baumia campaign as well. And by now you know Elembele Keke as well. He's joining us for news review today, but let me introduce him properly. Dr. Benatutu would join us a bit later, but in the studio currently is Emmanuel Enyema, Deputy CEO, Minerals Commission. He is Elembele Keke. But let me tell you what's been happening in front of the newspapers this morning. A lot has been happening. We'll start with the Ghanaian Times this morning, and this one will surprise you. I know, surprise, surprise, because I'm thinking by now you think it would be that Chairman Wontumi was questioned at the CID headquarters yesterday, the former Attorney General. Of course, those find some expressions in the newspapers, but this morning, this one is survey by the Ghanaian Times at Agbogboleshi Market, Malata Market, and here is the finding that food prices swing in Accra Market, and survey shows complex picture of scarcity abundance and shifting consumer preferences. Particularly what they mean is that consumers are unable to plan their life very much, because today if you went to the market, tomatoes would cost this much, and then as well if you went to the market another time, it will cost a different price. There's a bit of inconsistency because prices are fluctuating due to a number of factors. Story is on page 12 of the Ghanaian Times. You can take a read. And as well this morning, Vice President warns authorities against abuse of female students. Story is on page 12 of the Ghanaian Times this morning as well. ICU calls for end to precarious work, standardized employment conditions. Story is on page 14 of the Ghanaian Times this morning. And as well, Mrs. Bawumia urges African youth to lead climate action agenda. Story is on page 13. Of course, our former second lady. And as well, Chairman Wontumi to appear in court over alleged illegal mining. We'll get into that story a bit later. And on the back of the Ghanaian Times this morning, STC to introduce grain transport by end of year. You want to take a read? It's at the back of the Ghanaian Times this morning. I'll take you to other newspapers. The Daily Guide this morning. Wontumi granted 1 million Ghana cedis bail and faces court today. And as well, empower youth in climate change. Samira Bawumia speaking over the former second lady. And as well, the biggest one in front of the Daily Guide this morning is Jakpa complaint. Sir Graves, the former Attorney General, has been speaking. Details of that story is on page 3 of the Daily Guide this morning. And of course, Dambistom CID with 100 lawyers. As of yesterday, we're counting up to 70. That's what one of the lawyers said, that there are about 70 lawyers on standby. The Daily Guide is reporting that he storms the CID headquarters with 100 lawyers. And as one of the matters arising this morning has found expression in front of the Daily Guide this morning. It says that NPP reject PURC invitation on tariff hikes. We shall get into that when we get into the newspaper review. Now, a sad story reported by the Daily Guide this morning. A nurse caged for murder, and I just scanned through that story, and it says that a 30-year-old nurse had allegedly murdered a 70-year-old woman with a kitchen knife. Story is, maybe let me take you back so you can find where that story is. It's on page 6 of the Daily Guide this morning. If you want to feel sad this morning, that's a story to read. It's in front of the Daily Guide this morning, but sad story over there. And then the Insight, Wontumi's woes dipping and faces court today over a contact mining as well. The Vice President lauds teachers and says that they are architects of possibilities. You want to take a read as well. That's it for the Inside the Biggest Stories. We'll take you onto My Joy Online. Of course, what is the news without My Joy Online? I'll take you there now. It says that our top story this morning, Galamsey fight. We didn't get timeline on promises made, and this is by Engineer Dr. Ken Ashigbe. You want to take a read as well. Now, on that railway matter, that trending story of how our railways between the Takrade Nusuta stretch had been destroyed. Now, 12 to face Takwa court over destruction of Takrade rail line as well. Details over there. If you want to get more updates as well on the Wontumi woes, you can read on My Joy Online. Wontumi granted 1 million bail over Galamsey related cases to face more charges on Tuesday. And finally, a Galamsey fight stuck on promises. Eco-conscious citizen demand action and not talk. Maybe I should also take you to a city newsroom if I have that quickly. But there's so much on myjoyonline.com. And so, but I will bring you that in a bit, just right there. As well, City Newsroom, Galamsey update, of course, and Wotumi's trial over illegal mining begins today. That's the biggest story as well on City Newsroom. And as well, Eastern Region, an update from the Minister gives DCEs 2 weeks to profile all miners and financiers as well. That'll be all for the headlines, both on the newspapers and as well on My Joy Online and City News. And so we'll sit down and then we'll get into the news proper with my guests. All right. Okay, so this morning, a lot of things have my attention. Elembele Keke, I hope you're doing well.
I'm okay, I'm fine.
Okay.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning to my sister.
Morning.
Good morning to your cherished viewers.
Good morning to you. Dr. Ekwa, I haven't seen you. Oh, thank you. You as well. I haven't seen you in a while. You've been busy. What have you been up to?
Yes, I've been really busy going up and down the country, trying to remind our fellow patriots, our brothers and sisters in the New Patriotic Party, of the man that led us in 2024 and why he should be given another opportunity to continue. It's also interesting, today is 7th October. It happens to be his birthday, so would like to wish a huge happy birthday to His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia today. He turned 62.
Oh, today?
Yes.
It was just some days ago that it was his birthday. A year is here already?
Yes.
Ooh.
It was his birthday in the run-up to the 2024 election. October is here again, and we celebrate him again. Indeed, I think our prayer this morning, not just me, a lot of young people in this country, is that we are able to see him execute the vision that he has for the development of this country. And we are very confident that, it starts on January 31st, that the delegates of the New Patriotic Party will give him that opportunity. And then after that, the general public of the general people of Ghana would also give him the nod so that we can begin to see the execution of his vision for Ghana.
Okay, you must be really, really busy then. You definitely must be busy. Ellen Keke, last week you were here. We had a good conversation on Minerals Commission, and this morning you're here to review the news. How's the week been for you? Day 2 in the week, how's it been for you? Especially after the CSO's meeting with the president.
Like she rightly said, today is the birthday of our former vice president, Dr. Alhaji Mahama Bawumia. And I want to take this opportunity and wish him well. I want to wish him a happy birthday. And it's my prayer that they select him or they elect him to become their flag bearer so that he can come and compete with the NDC, because for us in the NDC, is the most candidate that we can easily let him get 38.9%.
Even on your first time, you couldn't do that.
I cannot even understand why for you, for wishing somebody a happy birthday, there's still some motive behind it. Why?
But like I'm saying, it's my prayer that they select him to become the next flag bearer for the MPP, because it's his birthday. That's my wish for him, because there is a competition, and for that competition, he needs to survive. And as he's celebrating the birthday a year today, it's my prayer he'll be the next flag bearer of the MPP. He will be the flag bearer because for us in the NDC, it is easy for us to give him 39.9%. So we hope that they will bring him so that maybe we'll spare him with 40% this time. So I wish him well. And I wish all the MPP people well for their campaign and the activities that they are embarking on. You asked me last week, how was my week? My week has been tough. We have been trying to educate Ghanaians on why mining is something that we should do it. We should do it responsibly. And we want to educate Ghanaians why His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama is putting all effort to make sure that we fight this illegal mining menace. So yes, we have been doing a lot. We met the civil society group last week, Friday, at the Jubilee House. This is a step in the right direction because this is government and this is governance. You need everyone on board. And it's a problem for the country, not only the NDC. So once you invite civil society to be part of the conversation, then it means that we are looking for solution to a problem that we are all facing. So, and it was fruitful. They made their observations and they all realized that at this point in time, it is not necessary to call state of emergency on illegal mining.
Are you sure? All the CSOs that came that day?
Over 99% of the CSOs. Because after the presentation by the minister, they realized the effort government has put in to fight this illegal mining. And the effort, they saw it, they appreciated the effort from the blue water gas, from the stakeholder engagement, from the cooperative mining, from the NIMOs, and from declaring red zones in water bodies and forests, revoking the airline that allowed people to enter into the forest and go and do mining. and the kind of effort we have put in as a government to make sure that this illegal mining become a thing of the past.
Okay.
So if they observe all the happenings in terms of government commitment and the political will to fight this Galamsey menace, they all applauded government.
Okay.
They said that they give government more opportunity, more chance. We should have this dialogue. We should continue to have this dialogue so that government keeps updating them on the activities that we are doing.
Okay,
so that's the reason why I am here.
And so this is how you've been so tired last week. Luckily, we've got Dr. Bernard Tutu Boahene here. He's a lecturer, but most importantly, NEC for UTAC as well, as part of NEC. And I know that, Doc, last week we were here, and I didn't see you. Maybe you were there and the cameras didn't capture you, but I didn't see you at the CSO engagement. Was UTAC represented at CSO's engagement with the president?
Oh, okay. Good morning to you. Good morning to Mr. Ayuma.
And, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, sir.
Today is the first time we are meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been watching him from far.
And good morning to Akuya.
Good morning.
Good morning, viewers. Yes, UTAC was represented. Our president was there. And as it were, I think that it is a good engagement. And I hear that, you know, earlier on we had met the minister himself, Mr. Mabua, I think about 3-4 months ago at Sumenya in one of our deliberations. And so he came, we had a discussion with him. And so I think that because of that engagement that we had with him, he made a proposal to the president that it would be better for all other CSOs, you know, to come on board. But as I indicated last week, I felt that, yes, it is a good engagement, but looking at the number of CSOs and other institutions that were invited, you could see clearly that, you know, a lot more people did not actually have the chance, you know, to speak. I don't know the arrangement that were put in place as regards people coming in with documents and probably handing it over to, you know, to the presidency. We saw some few of them doing that. In our case as UTAC, I realized that we couldn't equally get a chance to speak. Our president couldn't speak.
No wonder, because that was we took it live,
Yes.
and I was here moderating as well and didn't see
That's
him.
it, yeah.
Okay, but it was because you had already presented your position.
We had met the minister.
Right.
But, you know, we were still looking for opportunity to meet the president himself. And it would be something good for us if at least Mr. Enyima can communicate to the president, you know, to come meet UTAC for probably thorough discussions, you know, with the way Galamsey is going. In fact, we can't say that UTAC is happy. We cannot. And even though we've seen the minister implement certain policies or suggestions that we gave, you know, in our last meeting at Sumenya, we still feel that the president must do more. You know, looking at the current state of, you know, Galamsey and the things that are happening, shutting down of, you know, water treatment plants, you know, and again, the kind of reports we are getting, the health reports, to the worst of it, how food items, you know, foodstuffs have been contaminated. And you see, as human beings, our energy is derived from 3 things: the air that we breathe, the food that we eat, and the water that we drink. All right. So for air, we now have not heard of anything that the air has
from
been
pollution. Okay.
Right. But for water, we know, we have evidence, there are records. And water is something that the very baby that has been born today will take water, you know, up to the last person on the dying bed. Okay? For food, you can decide to fast, right? So maybe 40 days without food, you leave. Okay? But these two things are things that it doesn't matter, the processes that the president is going through, all right? It doesn't matter, what the president says. The bottom line is that, for me, as a person, not as a member of UTAG, I want to see action. Okay.
Let me take the minute and go to Doc. And so the minority, and especially, we're just going to have to zone into the CSO's engagement, especially because Deputy Minerals Commission here, Elembele KK believes that's
giving us 38%.
Well, he says that, oh, right. Well, he says that it was a fruitful engagement. The minority thinks that this was just publicity gimmicks or stunts and doesn't think that all of these things that have implemented so far are anything new. And I've just been wondering, if you listen to everything that the current government is doing, what differently could they have done? But first of all, tell me your overall assessment of that engagement. Waste of time, waste of resources? Is it just another publicity stunt? Do you stand by what the minority says?
It's exactly what you said, a publicity stunt. And I don't think it's just the minority that see it as such. When, I think now I can sort of call him my brother here, when you were speaking, the only thing I noted was there's nothing new that you said. He listed a number of things, all initiatives that essentially were inherited by this government. So nothing new, nothing special has been done. It was quite obvious that the pressure that was coming from society in general on this matter of illegal mining in Galamsey was hitting at the heart of the government. And so they decided to do something to sort of divert attention. But sitting down and talking is okay because the people you speak to feel like they are involved in the matter. This is not something that just started. Stakeholder engagements on Galamsey were done several times in the past 8 years, and so it's okay if they want to do that. But again, it does not solve the problem. It doesn't change anything at all. We were made so many promises by the NDC government now when they were in opposition. We were even told that they will use AI to fight Galamsey, and I haven't heard of that since they came into power. I haven't heard of anything new or substantial towards the fight against Galamsey. In fact, now they are fighting the same people that were allies to them in the past 8 years when the MPP was in government and Galamsey was being fought. I don't know if you saw that banter between the Deputy Chief of Staff and Mr. Ken Ashibe. Like, that's just how much the matter has deteriorated. Initially, when we started speaking about this Galamsey issue, everybody was attacked. You were in power for 8 years. Why are you still talking? And I find that line of argument very irritating because we are all in this country and you are in government. We saw how you handled this. In fact, I came across a video of the current Minister for Government Communication. I'm sure sitting around this table somewhere on Newsfile, saying how we have an army that's 15,000 strong, a police that is 40,000 strong. And so the only thing that was impeding the fight against Galamsey was a lack of political will. Fast forward now, we've been under your government for almost 9 months now, and we are not seeing any improvement. Indeed, we are seeing a deterioration. We are seeing involvement of known NDC people. We are seeing members of the NDC who are parliamentarians now being awarded as the best miners in Ghana. We are seeing a very consistent deterioration in the picture. And every day we wake up and they come and sit here and gaslight us that this has been done, this has been done, that has been done. But that's exactly what we were doing, and you were not pleased by it. So how are you here repeating the same thing? And that has always been my argument.
The president made a statement on Friday that, well, of course we've got enough military. However, the conflict in Boko, the conflict in Alavanyo and Konya area, most of these military people have actually been deployed over there. And so if we have to make use of the ones who are now dutied to care for us, defend us as a country,
I have never been of the opinion that you can fight Galamsey with just using the military. I've said that here several times. I'm just repeating their own words to them. And so this, again, they are just more excuses. They thought at that point, they said they were going to use AI. in fact, we're going to repeal this LI. I thought one of the first things they would have done when they came into government was to repeal the LI. But no, they chose to pass Gold Board in the dead of night instead. And now, I don't know if it's been done now. I don't believe it has been done. But
well, the minister has indicated that when Parliament resumes...
So it has not been done, exactly my point.
It doesn't matter
why
the
is
time.
There dragging on of the feet on repealing the LI if that was the devil's blood of Galamsey?
Do we believe that repealing the LI would really solve illegal mining?
I think we should ask them. That's what they were asking. You see, the problem with this Galamsey fight, and indeed for the government, is the way they carry themselves on this matter in opposition. There's nothing we've said that is even coming from. There's nothing I've said here that is even my own opinion. It is what I have seen them say that I'm asking. You said you would do this. What is happening?
Elembelekeke, do you think that you should have been measured in your promises in the fight against Galamsey when you were in your campaigning? Do you believe this so?
I'll start from where Doc ended in terms of UTAC engagement. Doc himself attested to the fact that Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Mahama Kofi-Boa, has met them, but all they are requesting for, they need more engagement with the minister and the president, and that's a very good call.
Was it an intentional meeting or it was incidental? Is it that
no, it wasn't. It was intentional.
It was intentional.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
We met. We did a lot of stakeholder engagements.
Boss, before you come in,
did a lot of stakeholder.
I don't know whether I can make this point then for her to know that it was intentional.
Okay.
Earlier on, prior to election 2024, we had gone for, I think, our third quarter meeting at WA. And so we invited the NDC and they were represented.
Okay.
So in that meeting, we had fruitful discussions, and of which they continued to sign a pact. You know, we had other engagement with the MPP equally at the backyard, and it was, I think, Professor Jampo who equally sent, you know, how do you call it, a pact, you know, through miracles to Dr. Baumia to be signed, suggesting that the two major political parties have agreed to the content of that pact, all right, of which I think the repeal of the LI 2462 was part, and then the state of emergency, you know, the declaration of the state of emergency.
It was in that pact.
Exactly. So, which means that they have all agreed. So whoever wins power will live by it. And so when we met, you know, on the fourth quarter at Sumanya, that was when we wrote again to the minister, because now he has control and he takes major decisions. So we invited him, he came, he did his presentation. We asked all the relevant questions that we need to ask, he answered. We also put forward certain suggestions, you know. So it was a deliberate, you know, meeting that we had with him.
Doc, when I come to you, my next question will be that, do you genuinely believe that declaring a state of emergency is what will solve the problem? Are we asking for a declaration of a state of emergency, or the one that is beyond it, the shoot to kill? I'd come to you. I will add.
I mean, like I was saying, Doc just reaffirmed the position that it was a government commitment to engage them. And it was deliberate, because when we came, we realized that what we needed to do was to engage Ghanaians. So we engage parliament, we engage civil society groups, we engage Chamber of Mines, we engage small-scale miners, we engage traditional chiefs, we even went to Tumfor's Palace. We engaged so many people. So he has confirmed that, yes, we have engaged them, but they want more, and that is the right call.
But from that engagement, the fallout from that engagement...
I want to assure Prof that...
I'm not yet Prof. GTech is listening to you.
Everybody's running away.
I know. But Elemelekeke, tell me, from the fallout from that engagement.
I want to address a lot of concerns that has been raised on this thing. So, like my sister also said that, what have we done? In fact, before we even say what we have done, we have to look at what they did. And the problem we have in this country is that hypocrisy and dishonesty is what is eating our DNA. I wish my sister would not even talk about illegal mining in this country.
Why not?
But what locus does the MPP have to talk about Galamsey in this country? When their own Professor Frimpong Boateng came up with a report citing people in government, saying that the government is deep neck in this fight against Galamsey, and they are doing this illegal mining. Their own party people, including Chairman Wontumi, his own minister, Honorable Abu Jinapo said he is mining in the forest without license. The next day, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo organized press conference and cleared Wontumi. Is that commitment from the government to fight illegal mining? Their own MPs saying that they will support Galamsey today and tomorrow. They made bold statements supporting Galamsey. Today, they have the locus to talk about President Mahama in the fight against Galamsey. That's why I'm saying that they shouldn't have even the locus to talk about illegal mining. She's talking about technology. Come to the Minerals Commission now. We are geofencing every concession that we will give.
I've heard that terminology countless times. What does it mean?
I'm educating you and your people. This is it. Under the MPP, excavators came into this country without registration. All the excavators you see in town, the one parked in front of your office here, under the MPP, they never registered any excavator in this country. Today, go to the port. As soon as you intend to do mining in Ghana and you bring excavator, once you come to the Minerals Commission and we start preparing your application, we add your excavator to the application, we track the excavator, and therefore we can know that you are the rightful owner of the excavator. We geofence the excavator to the concession. So if it is small-scale mining that you want to do, which is 25 acres, the excavator is geofenced within the 25 acres parameter. So as soon as you move outside the 25 acres parameter, the excavator is disabled. This is the technology we are introducing. And when you come to Minerals Commission, we have a control room that you see the control room manned with young men and women running 24 hours, monitoring day and night excavators working on concessions.
How long did you start this?
This started in I think last year or last 2 years. But it was a pilot from the UMAT. They had a World Bank project to pilot that. But when we came in, we have added the geofencing of the excavator to the concession.
So since the time you came in and adding this feature to this already existing a feature that already was at the Minerals Commission, have you had any case where these young men and women that you're just referencing were able to identify an excavator
A lot, because like I said, under the MPP, excavators in the system were not licensed and were not tracked. So we have men going to the field to go and track them, over 1,000 excavators.
Yeah, that's clear.
So I'm saying these excavators are already on site and they are working. So those excavators cannot be monitored. We are going to the site. We are now monitoring those excavators. We are tracking those excavators so that those excavators that has been tracked and registered under this government is being monitored 24/7. That is the commitment. And we are talking about this airline. This airline was passed by the MPP. My sister, Ghana was called Gold Coast.
They haven't denied it. The concern really is that you promised to...
We want to educate
because if we keep going back and forth, we won't make progress.
That is why I'm saying that. You see, she is saying nothing new has happened. And I'm trying to let people understand where we have come from and where we are today and where we are going. This LI 2462 was something new Akufo-Addo dreamt of. The Queen Elizabeth that came to Ghana never dreamt of this. Kwame Nkrumah never dreamt of this. Achampon never dreamt of this. Lehman never dreamt of this. Rollins never dreamt of this. Kufuor never.
But doesn't matter.
Never. Excuse
doesn't
me.
Matter. It doesn't matter. You know what?
President
doesn't matter.
Never. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
But have you heard the EPA boss saying that?
Please,
over there. No, I mean, of course, we don't have morning till dawn.
So I want people to understand that this LI was passed by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to allow people like Chairman Wontumi to go into our forest and go and destroy the forest.
I don't think it's fair of you to say that.
Please.
You've said a lot of things that are false, and I was going to wait for your time. But when you sit here and you want to impugn the reputation of people, so you arrest and convict him, and you leave his name out of your mouth, because you also have a member of parliament who is known as Wasa Aisha Wan, who is a well-known Galamsey. So now you are in government. So don't do that.
Because
you mentioned someone's name.
The point she makes is not far off. Something I would have corrected you on.
Is it true?
No, because these are allegations.
No, it's not allegation. This is not allegation.
It's allegation. Have you convicted him?
Listen.
Why is he in court then?
I didn't say Chemawun to me never had license to mine in the forest. Not me, Elembele Keki. His own minister, Honorable Abu Jinapo. It's clear. It's public. It's public knowledge. You can Google it. I know you're a smart journalist.
But he's not a court.
His own minister cited him that he's mining in the forest illegally, and he doesn't have.
But he can still say that. Well, it's my minister, but that's not true.
When he goes to court, he has to go and justify what his minister is saying. I'm repeating what his minister said. I didn't say it. So I'm saying that this ally allowed Chemawun to me to go into the forest because Queen Elizabeth did not bring this ally. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying that this government, we have not said that in the past 8 months or 9 months, we have resolved the matter to zero. No, that is not our position. Our position is that if you look at the commitment and the political will that we are showing to Ghanaians that we are on course to fight this Galamsey, you can see clearly that last week I came here and I gave you data. And this data was not manufactured in the NDC party headquarters or manufactured in the Jubilee House. This data was manufactured by the Water Resource Commission. And the Water Resource Commission is saying that some of the river bodies, the turbidity level has reduced drastically. Why? Because we are stopping people from mining in the water bodies. And I can cite some of these turbidity levels. Last week I cited it. River Tano in Seshi, 2024, the turbidity level was 139. Today, 2025, because of the commitment, the blue water gas, the cooperative mining, the NIMOS and all those things, it has reduced to 14. Barikese, it was 24 NTU. It has 22. Today it has reduced to 11. River Ankobra, 2,870. Today it has reduced to 1,009. River Densu, Manguase, it was 129. In 2024, today is 34.
As of which month? Because they do it quarterly, do they all?
So I'm saying when they do the next quarter, NDC did not manufacture this. So if you see this data, it clearly shows that we are doing something, but we've not gotten there. That is not our position. We've been in government for the past 8 months. All we are telling Ghanaians is that continue to give us that support that you have given us. President Mahama and the minister is assuring you that this illegal mining will be a thing of the past. In the next 4 years that we'll vote in this country, we will bring our scorecard. We will tell Ghanaians that this is what
let me ask a question, and I'll go to Dawn. Let me ask you a question.
I want to
My question before you land, really, because you don't want to land before you take off again, right? My question is that, do you think that you should have been measured in the promises? Because what we're doing really is that we're measuring the energy with which you made the promises and the results which we're seeing, despite it being 8 months, 9 months. Now, I see the argument of, well, we have 4 years. Well, we have 4 years. If I want to do a personal assessment, I'm unable to assess the energy today plus the promises. So I'm asking that, do you think that the NDC should have been measured in their promises?
You should start applauding the NDC.
Why would I do that?
Because in the past, 9 forests that was red zone, that no one can enter there. Today, under the NDC, under the minister, we have been able to we've taken over those forests.
Well, I can applaud the ex-president as well, because for a period of time,
for the past,
there was no small-scale mining at all.
Did you know that there was a forest, or there was a community in the forest called Abriwa Crime? Do you remember that story? Abriwa Crime. Oh, please, we are having conversation. You are staring at me.
Oh.
I'm saying.
Why not? You're my guest.
So I'm saying to you.
You say that you are intimidating me.
This is the
point. I'm quiet for you to make the point.
For the past 8 years, these people lived in the forest. President Nana Addo was the president. Are you telling me that he never had any intel that these people lived in the forest and they were doing illegal mining?
Okay.
So this
Leave
is
that question on the table.
I am
Let me
saying
go to
that
the other guest.
under this government, these people, they are no more in the forest. We've taken over this forest. That is a commitment. That is the zeal. That is the energy. We are telling Ghanaians that we've been able to rescue such forests for Ghana.
Have you seen the destruction that's happened on the railway, especially the rails from Takrade, Takwa, Nsuta area? Have you seen that one as well?
I have seen it.
You've seen it?
And I'm worried because, you see, when it happened, you see our MP is there, you see our minister is there, you see everyone is there. We are trying, I am not, you see, what I'm trying to let you understand is that we've not resolved the matter. And this matter was not started under NDC. It was started long ago. We are taking.
Do you know that you have not answered any of my questions
But
yet?
I'm telling what question I've told
because,
you. I've told you that what government is doing. I'm telling our story, and our story is what we have done. And the MPP and the other our naysayers are saying that we have not shown any commitment. And I'm telling you the commitment we have done.
Okay.
I'm telling you what we have done to reduce some of the stability level.
Okay.
Prof has admitted that we have done stakeholder engagement with the UTAC and the academia.
Okay.
He has attested
you will not describe Prof and UTAC as the naysayers, right? You describe the NPP as the naysayers.
No. So you said the opponents and naysayers.
No,
so
I'm
right now
saying
it's clear anybody that calls out that they are unserious with this Galamsey fight is a naysayer.
That is
I mean, have you landed? Can I continue? Because you said so many things here.
Okay, no. I mean, you're not the only person on the table. But Doug has to respond to a few things, and I'll come to you. Doug, because you are the neutral person which I can come to, right? The NPP says that if you look at the energy with which the NDC government made promises to fight the Galamsey, it will look as though they were not even willing to want to fight it. So the energy, just opposing it to what they're doing now, is low. It's not the same. You have been observing. I mean, even before you became a NEC member of the UTAC, you followed Galamsey, not today. If for anything, the age would even tell. He's said a lot of things. The NPP as well still stands on business that they haven't done anything different. I want to hear from you for the first time. UTAC.
See, the point is clear. I grew up in the Galamsey area, Asante Achim Konongo. At my backyard, you know, Galamsey was in sessions, all right? When you go to the Konongo mines, you know, they do it. And in fact, let me say that Konongo is one of the towns in Ghana that has suffered, in fact, Konongo Dumase, have actually suffered severely, you know, when it comes to issues of Galamsey. So me, I know Galamsey. Now, you see, you asked a question as to whether the NDC should deliver on its promise. And for me, it is a straightforward yes. It's not about any further explanation. Because you see, when I promised my brother that I will be of help to you, maybe he needs something, money for probably school fees or something. And so come tomorrow. All right. Because of the trust and confidence he has in me and my promises I've made to him, he'll go to rest. So even if she can fall on a kuya, because Dr. Tutu has said come tomorrow, he is not likely to go to a kuya or any other person for help. If he comes to me tomorrow, knocks on my door, and I tell him I can't get to the money, what do you think I've done to him?
You've broken his trust.
I've broken my trust. And I've equally broken his trust and confidence in me. The third thing is that I have made his situation worse off. You understand? And that is the issue we are dealing with. You see, I don't want us to use Galamsey and peddle Galamsey, you know, on politics. Yes, the MPP couldn't fight it. And it is one of the reasons why Ghanaians decided that take the back bench.
Yeah.
And as to whether the MDC decided or made a promise to fight Galamsey, whether you made a promise or you didn't make it, it is a national responsibility incumbent on you, the president, and the ruling government to fight Galamsey.
Do you think that they signed that pact simply because they were?
I don't want to go into the pact, because
Okay.
the moment I go into the pact, it becomes the stand of UTAG.
Okay.
All right. So
Does what the things in the pact does not find expression in other requirements, other things that CSOs
But there are
as well?
so many things in there, which of course I don't have the pacts on my phone. I could have read it to you. See. But my point is that I don't want to go talking about the stand of UTAG now.
Okay.
Because I think that we are making arrangement to meet and probably discuss a lot of things.
Okay.
But you see, this Galamsey thing is a national security threat. All right, looking at the ravages of it. And so the point is that, you see, we know that the MPP, in fact, nobody can say that the MPP didn't do anything about Galamsey. They did.
Okay.
But for certain utterances, I hope you get it, which of course, my brother has alluded to some of them. And nobody is on record. In the same way, the NDC is equally doing something. And they are equally putting up certain utterances, which will not be, or it will not inure to the benefit of Ghanaians. For me, look, the president made a point indicating that the state of emergency will be the last tool he will use. All right? And on Friday, he said that he's waiting on the advice of the national security. Okay? And I think that the minister himself also said that the repeal of the LI is going to present it before Parliament. You know, that was yesterday.
Yeah.
What has happened to Parliament? Indefinite suspension, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it means that the LI will be hanging, isn't it?
Yes.
Until when will the national security advise the president and say that declare or do not declare? When?
Okay.
So please, can you let me?
Yeah.
But you see, as we continue to wait, whether it is going to be a last-minute resort or as to whether national security is going to advise, water is still turning brown. Water is still being contaminated. You know, we are still recording, you know, health hazards. You know, and one water treatment plant has been shut down. We are getting reports that yam, cocoyam, kuntumre, you know, all major foodstuffs are being contaminated. So what is our stand? I feel that where we are at a very dangerous zone as far as Galamsey is concerned. And that is why I want to encourage the president, you know, to take decisive decision or action to Galamsey. You see, I know President Mahama to be very courageous. If not anything at all, what he said on the floor of the UN, very powerful statement. When he was launching, is it NIMO?
NIMOS.
NIMOS. The kind of statement he put out there, when you read the content, very courageous. But beyond these two, for me, I think that perpetrators of Galamsey, right, are very much wicked people. And so we should treat them as such. If somebody picks a gun to go and shoot at another person and get that person killed, okay, don't we take immediate action?
Dr. Kerr, you're here, and of course, clearly belong to the NPP. Do you hear what people say that really he who seeks equity must do equity? And even more importantly for the NPP, he who comes into equity must come with clean hands. You've heard him say that the NPP shouldn't even be here talking about the fight against Galamsey.
Don't you find that incredibly irritating? And I'll explain to you. I think there's a confusion in the NDC. They do not realize that now they're in government, and so the buck stops with them. And so it cannot be considered a credible way of fighting Galamsey by attacking your predecessor. that's, as we all sat around this table to say, one of the reasons why the MPP was kicked out of government was on the back of Galamsey. So the people of Ghana entrusted you to come and fight this menace, and everything that comes out of your mouth is MPP this, MPP that, MPP this. And I understand why, because my brother here said a lot of things that, in fact, I would just like to say it's just quite far from the truth. I don't think, number one, he has read the Frimpong Boateng report himself, because if he had, he would know that this idea of tracking excavators and geofencing them, and it's mentioned in the report because it's something that was done under the previous administration. If he had read the report, he would also know that Professor Frimpong Boateng noted that it was NDC people. If you look into the whole Galamsey architecture, that NDC people were even more than MPP in the mining areas. That they had a very strong hold in the Galamsey areas, where using their influence to sponsor candidates into parliament. And I've just mentioned one to you. So I would hope that we'll move away from that kind of conversation of this, that, because now you are in government and you have to fix it. And from all indications and from all conversations we've had this morning, obviously you haven't done anything new.
He has just read to you many things that the government has done. You see, he also mentioned that water quality index, only mentioned a few. There are about 35. The rest of them have gone from bad to worse. But you do cherry picking. But you're forgetting that people actually live in these areas and they've seen the deterioration. So you cannot deceive anybody by cherry picking a few that have seen some marginal improvements to make your case. You talk about getting people out of these forest reserves. This kind of sustained military action against Galamsey is not new. Are we trying to sit here and behave that this is the first time we've seen a police or military operation to clear an area of illegal miners? No. And are we going to So what else do you want the government to do?
No, they said, you see, the funny thing is they said the Galamsey problem was going on because MPP people were mining. Like he tried to rope in Chairman Woon to me this morning innocently, and I was just corrected because I was very sure that's not what the Minister of Land said. You were misquoting him. So if you are not going to quote exactly what he said, then do not.
It's quite public knowledge.
No, then find exactly what he said. I think the problem was about licensing, that he didn't have, he had a prospecting license and somebody was, and as I said, this one to me matter is in court. So let's see what the courts say, but you cannot continue to use that as a case, especially now that you are in government.
It's nice that you have brought this. You are the commissioner. What have you been finding, especially in terms of licensing?
Let me finish then.
Please note it down and then I want some answers for that.
Yeah, I will not interrupt.
And then we'll move shortly to other matters, because of course you have mentioned contact mining and he's headed to court today.
Yeah, that was the impression that they tried to create. That was the problem. And so everybody expected that now that the MPP was out of government, everything will come back to normal and everything will be fine. But indeed, it's not so.
Are you saying this because it's politics, or you genuinely think that's because NDC has come to power, everything will come back to normal?
No, that's the picture they tried to paint. At that time, I knew it was very far.
If they created a picture,
I thought it was
do you believe?
Generous. I thought it was very detrimental to the fight against Galamsey to reduce it to such a petty argument or such a petty thought.
So by the minorities' demand, are you also not reducing it?
No, we're just calling them out on exactly what they said. But I have sat here and mentioned several ways that we believe this matter should be handled if we want to see some true progress. And I can go into that again. I did see that yesterday or so, Mr. Ken Ashibe also noted that trying to not giving out licenses if the people are not very sure of where the mineral resources are is one of the things that he thinks we should do to see some progress in the fight against Galamsey.
They've not issued new licenses, have you? They've not.
They have. He also spoke about excavators and how they had not been licensed. This is it's not true. It is completely false that in the last 8 years no excavators were registered. There's data from the DVLA that I have here, and it shows that they were licensed. In fact, this geofencing you are talking about was started there, and it was in this report that you are quoting. So all that shows is that you are not doing anything.
As you have said,
right
the bus
now we are importing even more excavators. That's what I'm seeing on the screen, to the point that the ports are full that they had to move them in the middle of the night to keep somewhere.
I would have thought that the minister, trade minister, said that because these excavators have been sitting in the ports for a while, and they had to decongest.
Why are they decongesting? Because there are so many excavators there. Is that not it?
It wasn't because it was shipped in a previous era.
How would you know when it was shipped?
Anyway, The bus stops with government, right?
Yes,
and he's sitting right here.
So we expect to see results, not complaints, blame games, and then everything that is going on. And again, we sat here for almost 1 hour, and we haven't been told any new thing that the NDC government has done on Galamsey. So that whole time that they were complaining in the past 8 years, was it just hot air that they were blowing? There was nothing that they could do about this matter. Now you do a CSO engagement, and you expect us to come and sit here and clap for you. Is that what's happening?
Okay.
Normally, I'll be the one asking the questions, but you know.
I don't have a PhD. But from the knowledge I have acquired in mining, I want to educate people with PhD.
You're a medical doctor.
I don't have a PhD. But the knowledge I have acquired from the Minerals Commission, I heard my sister doc saying prospecting license. Chairman Wontumi had prospecting license, and the prospecting license does not allow a person to mine.
That was exactly the point. So I don't know what you are talking about.
Chairman Wontumi was mining.
Because you were there. Again, you see, this is a very bold assertion. So you have evidence and you've convicted him.
I was quiet.
So talking about Chairman Wontumi.
Okay, to be fair,
I was so quiet.
To be fair, he definitely will be following the backdrop of what the attorney, the attorney general has been saying.
So it's an allegation.
But you're not pronouncing judgment. Let's allow him. Let's make the point.
Then the minister.
You're very confident about this.
I'm confident because his minister said it. I didn't say it.
What did the minister say?
He said Chairman Wontumi was mining in the forest. And at the time, my sister, who has a PhD, is saying that.
No, she's a medical doctor.
Just go on with medical doctor.
She's a medical doctor.
You are the PhD. She is saying that because Chairman Wontumi has prospecting license. And I'm saying, in mining, we have types of license. We have recognizance licenses that you do some visual inspection at the mine site. We have prospecting licenses that you do the auger drilling, you do the trenching, you do your drilling, and you find the quantity of gold there, and you mineralize the area and see the number of ounces you have down there. So it does not allow you to mine. Chairman Wontumi was even having prospecting license, but he was mining. So I'm educating them to let her understand that if you have prospecting license and you mine, it is illegal. And that is what he was doing. 2, I want to put it on record that Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Emmanuel Makofibua, has not granted any mining lease or permit into forest reserve, neither even a small-scale mine. I want to put it on record.
No licenses at all.
And no licenses at all. We have revoked over 55 licenses, and we are trying to fix the system and the mess they caused. My sister, I want to also put it on record here that the NDC never promised to solve Galamsey in 9 months. Please, if you can show me where in our manifesto or where we said the social contract we signed with Ghanaians that we want to solve Galamsey, when they vote for us, we'll solve Galamsey in 9 months. Please mention it to your viewers. It is not true. And I want to also put it on record here that I have mentioned and given data of what water resources has provided. She said that we have over 35 water bodies that has been destroyed, and I was just picking what I love. Please, let her mention the 35 water bodies here that she is claiming that I have just run away from. See, my point is that NDC made a commitment to resolve the destruction of what the NPP did. And I have said that.
Why are we putting the distraction all on NPP? Because Galamsey started more than 4 years ago.
We don't give permit for people to go and do small-scale mining in forests. Listen, mining can be done anywhere, but small-scale mining is not done in the forest. But they brought an ally that granted people to do small-scale mining in the forest. And I'm saying that all our source of water comes from the forest. So when you allow people to go into the forest and destroy the forest, is the reason why you see our water bodies being destroyed. And the commitment of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is that he has declared all these forest zones and water bodies a red zone, a military area, no-go area. And President Mahama has reclaimed this 9 forest reserve that was red zone that no one can enter. Is it not a steps in the right direction mitigate or to fight against this illegal mining.
The viewers are watching.
Thank you.
The answers
And I'm saying that I have given records from water resources that because of the commitment and the energy the minister has put in to mitigate this illegal mining, some of the water bodies have seen the turbidity level reduce. My sister, mining is not evil in Ghana. And let me educate viewers. There are two types of mining in Ghana. We have the small scale and we have the large scale. The large scale are the big guys who come in with so much money. And the small scale are the mole ones that we do on the table. And it is allowed, it is legal in Ghana to do small scale mining. My sister, come to Minerals Commission. We will give you permit for you to go and do small scale mining. But I'm saying that when you are doing the mole small scale mining, this mole small scale mining, you will get your gold. Gold board will have the gold. We will use the gold to short the cedi, and our economy will be better. And your week, you will not buy it 50 Ghana cedis again. You buy it 20 Ghana cedis because the gold from the small scale mining is what gold board is using to shore up the cedi.
The 20 Ghana cedis mole week. But you, well, you know what? We're discussing the political will. But I think if you look at that, no, because I think, you know, last week we rehashed most of these points, and we're just reviewing. There's so much to review in the news. So these are things we can read.
I want to assure Ghanaians that His Excellency.
We're not done. You're giving a vote of thanks. We're not done.
I thought you are just wrapping up.
No, we're not. We're not. Okay, so if you look at the consensus, the general, whether it is the NPP, CPP, whether CSOs, there's one thing that's very common, that political will. But we're asking the question, what really was the difficulty in the revocation of that LI? I've tossed it around. What do you think was the difficulty? Because at least that one, it doesn't take 4 years to do, right?
Okay.
There's so many bills that were passed into laws quickly, under certificates of urgency.
So the LI 2462, when President Mahama became president, he directed the minister the power that he has to grant permits into forest. He took that powers from the president, from the minister. And today, the president said that that LI is going to be a thing of the past. Whether we took it yesterday out from the system or we are taking it tomorrow, on records, the minister has not granted any permit to be mined in the forest.
That's granted. But what made it difficult? What makes it difficult?
There is nothing. I'm saying there's
nothing. It's just
the difficult aspect is that people will go into the forest and go and mine, and who is going to grant that permit is the minister. Yeah. And the minister said that president has directed that the minister cannot grant, and the minister has listened to the president, and the minister has not granted any permit for anybody to go into the forest to go and mine, and that is on record.
So we should sleep and wake up believing the minister all the time.
But the president, you just said that the president made a bold statement, and he has made this bold statement not only in Ghana. He went to the UN. He has made bold statement. President John Dramani Mahama is making statement. Minister is making statement. Minerals Commission is supporting those statements. And my sister, please, we never promise that Galamsey, our water will be like special ice mineral water or Vortic in 8 months. We never promise that.
I'll send them an invoice for
we never say that. What we are saying is that give us the opportunity to resolve this matter. And what are the opportunities? We have taken steps to resolve this matter. We need your support. And
let's go to
and JoyNews, you are doing something which, please, some of us are not happy with what you are doing. What is this? This Galamsey, like Doc said, it's not politics. It's a national issue.
So?
But you put out flyers with President Mahama picture on it and portray a perception that, you see, when you do that, it's perception. And when you do...
Help me. I don't understand what you're saying.
I have...
Of course I know the flyer, which will be releasing more of those flyers. But what's wrong with it? Dear President Mahama.
What is this?
No, dear Mahama, stop Galamsey. That's it.
And when you put out this picture, and you paint this picture to people in the... As if President Mahama... Listen, when you create the impression or the perception that it looks like President Mahama is not doing anything against Galamsey.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Stay with me. Doc, you are a lecturer. There's a flyer. In fact, I'll play that promo now. We have a love letter.
Before you do that, when I did
when
I did human behavior in organization, we studied something called perception.
Okay.
Doc, help me. Perception can either be positive or negative.
Hang on. I allowed you to tell your story.
That perception out there.
Listen.
What people will perceive.
Listen.
And when they consume it as a negative
I moderate
thought, it becomes very difficult.
Doc, I moderate this conversation.
That negative thought. So please, I want to be guided. Okay. And I want to state it on record.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll give it.
Okay.
Don't worry.
In fact, once again, I have a love letter for the president. And take a watch.
Mikase Forestry Commission, almost 37 forest reserves have been destroyed. And so the first thing is to get them out. Now, we will attach mining safety officers and graduates from the University of Mines and Technology to all small-scale mining companies to ensure that they do the mining in safety and according to the regulations.
They talked about repealing the LI. They talked about the state of emergency. They've been in office. And I'm just waiting for that 120 days to come to an end. Mr. President, you must live by your word. You cannot speak poetry in opposition and come and act prose when you are president.
Dear Mahama, honor the 8. Stop Galamsey.
Doc, I have a love letter for the president. We all on this table agree that Galamsey is happening. And we as a channel, we've written a love letter that, dear President Mahama, stop Galamsey. What's the perception about this? Who should we ask?
So, you see, messages is a form of communication.
Right.
And so, in communication, one party declares his or her intent to another party for interpretation. So whoever is exposed to that information will try to make meaning, and out of that meaning will come perception. All right. So if you write a negative message, it comes with a negative perception. And if you write a positive message, it comes with a positive perception. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm still just waiting for Sean with this one. Yeah.
So when you say, dear President, stop Galamsey, the intended audience in here is the president. Any other person is an unintended audience. In other words, unintended audience means that the message is not meant for you. I hope you get it.
No, of course, because the message is for the president.
Exactly. So that's where I'm getting to.
Okay.
So the message is for the president.
Yes.
Myself, if I read it, it is not addressed to me. So what kind of perception do I create? Am I creating a perception that the president is not working or the president is working?
Exactly what I'm trying to say.
You understand? Now, if I get to that point of knowing that the president probably is not solving the problems of Galamsey for which a love letter has been written, all right, then probably if I care to know or I care about that situation, then I need to probe further. So in probing, I'm coming.
Okay.
In probing, I can probably come up with the assertion that this letter, you know, is right in its own direction. If I also read and get to the point of knowing that probably the president is doing something to solve, then that perception will also be created. But the key point is that perception, whether positive or negative, you have the opportunity to work on it. So if the president, you know, if this love letter has been written to the president, of which, you know, the president is taking action, whoever goes to read, like Mr. Ejima is saying, what it means is that I am reading on daily reports and I'm seeing that one, A has been done, B has been done, C has been done. All right? Now, if I read, then of course, my perception will be enforced. But if I get to the point of knowing that out of my readings, there are daily reports that are indicating that the situation is worsening. The situation is worsening. Then, of course, it is...
Doug, while I love the education that you're giving now, I think the bottom line is, you are the commission. Is Galamsey happening? Is Galamsey still ongoing?
That's why earlier on I said that.
Yeah.
You remember I don't know whether you've read the Oliver Twist story.
Unfortunately, time is not our friend this morning. Yeah.
I can see the frustration in your
face. The time is not our friend. Maybe we'll
Oliver Twist was given food to eat.
He wanted more?
And he wanted more. You know why? Either the food was not satisfactory, he couldn't fill his entire, space in the stomach. All right? Or because he needed a better food that will make him live well. You understand? So, for me, if for the past 9 months, if Ghanaians are satisfied with the output of the president and the NDC government, you wouldn't be here talking Galamsey.
It's the fact that there's even a dear. We said dear. Like, dear.
I see the frustration in
I mean,
but I think
dear.
this morning,
but anyway,
you have to apologize to the former president
unfortunately,
for accusing him of a culture of silence. The way the NDC is behaving
my time
when
is
it comes
up
to
this
this
morning,
is so shocking.
Sorry?
You haven't done anything different, anything new on this Galamsey matter.
Okay.
We call you out and your problem is the president's picture.
I want you to write another love letter to President Mahama and say, Dear President Mahama, the love and care you show for Ghanaians in the fight against Galamsey for reclaiming 9 forest zones.
I think the Minerals Commission can write that letter. But anyway, thank you so much. I had so much for us to discuss this morning. For some reason, time is up. Yeah, we'll pick up.
Red zone was done in December. They were
of course, it will be the president who will write this letter to that. Dear President, stop Galamsey. It definitely would be the president who will write this love letter to that's Dear President, stop Galamsey. But thank you so much for watching the news review. There's more on the show. Please stay. Thank you, Doug. Thank you. You're watching the AM show. Thank you so much for staying with us. On to a very important conversation. We're joined this morning by Dr. Tony Obin. He is CEO, Petroleum Hub Development Corporation. I'm certain that you may have heard about it. You have understood their mandate, but this morning, we shall hash the mandate, get to take a bit of accountability. It's been about 7 months, maybe a little over 7 months since his appointment. What has been the impact so far? What has he been up to so far? Do you still have that confidence in the hub and its core mandate? Doc, thank you for making time and joining us this morning.
Thank you, and I appreciate you inviting me.
Right. I've heard you talk about the hub constantly and consistently, but I'll pretend that there's a new audience this morning and they probably still do not understand exactly what the hub is about. What really is your core mandate and what's your expectations?
Thank you very much. You know, let me start with the cooperation.
Okay.
The corporation is a creation of Parliament, creation of an Act of Parliament. I think Act 2020-1053, and the core mandate of the corporation is to facilitate and promote the development of the petroleum hub. In fact, Ghana seeks to secure its energy future, and through that also create industry. Industrialize out of the petroleum product. Ghana wants to use its location, its unique location as a center of the world to create this hub, which I'll come to, and then ensure that this benefits not only Ghana, not only the people of Jomoro, but also West Africa and Africa in general. I'll come back to those things. So it's a huge proposition. It is a very ambitious proposition where the government has or is in the process of finalizing the acquisition of an expanse of land for the development of 3 refineries, a minimum of 5 petrochemical plants. The 3 refineries will be refining fuel of about a total of about 900,000 barrels per stream day, which is 300 per refinery. Now, I've mentioned 5 petrochemical plants that will be producing fertilizers, polypropylene, plastics, and all those stuff. And don't forget that even our medicines, the medicines that we use, have some petrochemical input in that. And then also, we are enjoying to create the opportunity for the building of storage tanks of about 10 million cubic meters. And then also a complete modern township attached to this. Now, we at the corporation, we are the interlocutor between government and the private sector. Okay. This is not going to be built by government, like people think, how can government get the 60 billion to build this? And sometimes we are scared by that. But it is not for government to cough out 60 billion to build this dream hub. It is for government to facilitate by the land acquisition, servicing of the land, and then making ourselves available. Don't forget, we have a very stable political climate. We have had it over time. The quality of our human resources is superior compared to other places. We have been involved in the natural resource extraction for some time. I mean, gold has sat with us for a long time. I'm happy I'm not going to talk about gold. And then diamonds and manganese and bauxite and all that. So we have that, and we want to take advantage of this. Remember also that in Africa, 85% of our petroleum product consumption is imported. Yeah. We import 85% of all the petroleum product consumption from Europe, from what do you call it, Asia, South America, whatever, you know, and even Nigeria, which produces about 250 million barrels a day, they import over 60% of their consumption from abroad. What is wrong with Africa? Why can't we have a hub where we can produce and feed ourselves in a way? 2, we are all members of AFTA, African Continental Free Trade. Yeah. So why can't we take advantage of that, move our diesel, move our fuel to a place where we can sort of refine and ensure that the cost goes down. Our energy future is assured. So this is what we are mandated to do. We are mandated to cut, in fact, in romantic language, they say woo. Right. Woo investors into the place. And the investors that we are wooing are not only foreign investors. We are wooing both foreign and local investors, Africa, whatever. We are doing that. And if we are able to establish this, this will be the first and the only one on the continent of Africa. All the other continents have hubs. If you go to the Asia, there are several petroleum hubs. If you go to America, you have we have hubs. If you go to the Americas, I mean Canada and all those places. Now, the reason why I believe that this is very, very important and this will help is that look at Singapore. I always use that as an example. Singapore is of the size of Accra. In fact, they had to borrow some land from the sea, which means that they reclaimed part of their settlement from the sea. But they don't drill one drop of oil, but they have the 3rd largest petroleum hubs in the world.
Let's create it. Let's bring it home. How do I explain to my 10-year-old niece or nephew, what does the hub look like pictorial? Okay. If I visited the job, we'll talk about the land acquisition, compensation, and all of that, which will feed into the 7 months that you've been appointed. But how does this hub look? It looks a lot in my mind, but if I want to break it down, how does it look? How will it look?
It looks like 3 refineries being built. It looks like a minimum of 2 jetties and port a new port being built. And don't also, I just want to draw your attention to this fact. The deepest the area of our ocean, our sea, our coast, is in Jomoro. So you can do a new harbor that can actually allow, vessels of any size to berth over there. So there's an opportunity for another harbor and jet.
Is it part of the hub plan already, the existing plan already?
Yeah, it is part of it. It is part of it.
Okay.
So that you see that, you'll also see a minimum of 5 petrochemical plants being built, and already we have secured one fertilizer company from Qatar that is going to build that one. Of course, we also have some also going to do the phase 1. The project has been phased, so phase 1 to do that. So you see that, and you see a series of tank farms. I'm surprised that we don't have the video. We normally have a video that we show to people to see.
We can fetch
to
that.
give them the visual
pictorial, okay.
The visual impression. And also, and then a township, a modern township, where maybe there will be Joy FM office over there also doing other things. But a modern township, which the dream is to have a quaternary hospital, just like the UGMC, hotels and all that. This is not new. It won't be the first in the world. It will be Africa also rising, and Africa hitting above itself. Ghana doing that, having dreams that may not be achieved tomorrow. I don't believe that I would be able to build all the 3 phases of the hub. But I think once we get started, we'll be showing the world that we are serious, and people will rush. I mean, I believe people are looking for such big dreams to change the narrative.
So you say that the estimated total cost is how much? 60 billion. As of when?
Yes, as of 2023. And again, these are all estimates. These are all calculations done just off the table. But this will be done by private sector. So in the estimation of us, the Petroleum Hub, the private sector may find a different way of doing it that reduces the cost. It may also find a way that increases the cost. So these are all, you need to have a figure to it. And we shouldn't be scared, because this 60 billion, we've spoken with people, single families who can produce more than this 60 billion.
That's quite refreshing to hear. Yeah. But so then let's talk about the role of government and how it can aid you to at least achieving this project, right? Surely that will be land acquisition. You had mentioned that in acquiring this land, servicing of it, facilitating of it, is that inside this cost, or that is outside the 60 billion?
Everything in terms of the estimation, everything. But what the role of government, first, to establish an entity like us, which is, I call ourselves, at the office, we say we are the private sector of government, mediating between the private sector outside and government. So we provide the necessary facilitation. For instance, we did interagency dialogue. And we did it because we realized that if one has to build, let's say, a petrochemical plant, one petrochemical plant, it might take him about 350 or 347 days to get all the regulatory permits.
Okay.
Which investor
you can facilitate
exactly. So we do that. We will, and we have told ourselves and then our colleagues from other agencies that we want to use 1 month. 1 month to do that, provided the entity, the investor, has done all their homework well. If it is EPA, they would have done all the requirement of the EPA, but they will not go and sit with the EPA. They will just bring everything to us. We review it. Everything is nice. We give it.
You're more like an agent.
Yes, we are like an agent, and that is done within 30 days.
Okay. So where are we with this? Where are we with this dream? It's 7 months. Where are we with it?
Yeah. So it is not very easy. It's a big dream. And the last time I checked, in Africa, there are the top 10 dreams of this nature. The Petroleum Hub is number 2. The biggest stream is the construction of the Inga Dam on Congo. So we are also seen to be thinking big. Now, where are we? If a lot of the paperwork has been done, until I came in, I think not many people knew about Petroleum Hub. In fact, even my own colleagues who I thought were also educated and should have known about the Petroleum Hub, when I asked them, do you know anything about petroleum? They say, Petroleum Hub, I don't know anything about it, but there's petroleum around it. It must be a very good place. But at least we have undertaken the journey of making Ghanaians aware and appreciate this dream, which sometimes people are scared because it's big, but that's what Kwame Nkrumah did. And Kwame Nkrumah's dream, which was big at that time, has even become small.
You say the Ghanaians have bought in the idea?
Oh, well, they should. I'm sure a lot of people are warming into that. In fact, some big private sector people, I traveled some of them to try and look for partners to come and do this.
Okay.
So some private sector people have bought into this. The only thing that we are working on, I know government is working on very hard, is the acquisition of the land.
That must be difficult and easy. Why? Because the government can muzzle up and acquire the land for you, right?
Precisely. Some language is precise. Precisely. Government can use this muscle, use the right of eminent domain to acquire land for us.
How much land, by the way, are you seeking? How many acres?
The land is 20,000 acres, not hectares.
20,000 acres.
And out of the 20,000 acres that we are looking for, 1/3 is actually wetland. 1/3 is wetland, so it will not be used to build any infrastructure there. It is just going to be protected because they are eco-sensitive area. And of course, we are under the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. And so we need to do whatever it takes to be involved in the green transition process. If we maintained those wetland and vegetation there, and we can even work with the tourist ministry to develop that place into a tourism area without destroying that. I pray that there should be no gold down there.
Would you be happy if there was gold?
No, I'm praying that there shouldn't be.
Why not?
If there is gold there, I don't know what happens.
Two things: you mine it or legally or not legally.
If you mine it legally, I am a mining person.
Absolutely.
And I think God was smart to put oil for us, put gold for us. I think we are not being smart in how to extract it. That's our problem. But let me go back to my
So you say a percentage of this 20,000 acres is
about 6,000.
About 6,000 of it wetlands.
Yeah. Yes, it's wetland. So we are not. So the actual infrastructure, including the township, will be on about 13,000 acres of land.
Okay.
And I recently was in Johor. Johor is in Malaysia. And they had also just completed their first phase. And the first phase sits on about 4,000 acres.
First phase of a hub.
Of the hub, yes, over there in Johor. And I tell you, what excited me more and what has actually increased my passion about this project is that the first phase, they told us they employed about 82,000 people. They didn't have enough people, so they had to bring workers from Philippines or something like that. So I see the employment generating prospect. I see opportunity to use that to address some of the Galamsey challenges that we have. And this is the way it is. Sometimes, and I have been involved in this for a long time, so when I talk, I have been involved in the so-called alternative livelihood project. If you give someone oil palm to go and plant, he thinks that how long is it going to take for me to get this thing and how much money am I? If the person were trained and employed at the hub, I'm sure he'll find the elegance of working in an oil industry and possibly the fact that there's an opportunity for more pay, even if it is not as high as perhaps what he gets at the illegal things that he's doing and always running away from police and all that. So I think there's an opportunity for us.
How easy or difficult has it been for you so far? Because whilst you're engaged in the private sector, of course, to invest in this dream of ours, the role of government, which will include the land acquisition, let's specifically stay on that for a while. How far have you gone with the acquisition? Have you acquired? Which is the problem? Compensation of the acquisition or what?
You know, this is a national project, if you like. In 2024, the government then, led by the President Akufo-Addo, went and cut short at the place to mean that the project was ready to start, and that he had instructed. I don't play politics like that. I'm not playing politics. I'm saying things because it was a public activity, and said that, look, I have instructed my finance minister to release 200. You know, mark the words. I have instructed. Is the president instructing my finance minister to release 200 million cedis to start paying the compensation. So that impression was there. And I think they started even an executive instrument to acquire it. When we came, no money has been paid. Nothing had been done in that respect. So it looks like it has to be started all over. And this is what we are doing. You know, land acquisition is a complex process. You have interest. You know, in Ghana, you know, and that's what we are trying to avoid. We have interest, people, families have interest, chiefs have interest, and all that. So it has to be woven very carefully. So that's what government is doing. I think the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources is doing that. The Lands Commission, they are looking at these processes with us.
Framework government really can, once we've told the people that we're using it in the interest of the people, whether they're happy or not, they are quite compelled to want to release the land.
Yeah, but government, I mean, you know, President Mahama's government will not use that force to do that. We want to make sure that things are done properly. You know, part of the process also say that you should pay fair and adequate compensation. That could be discussed. I mean, you don't need to pay in one go. If you have a framework that will assure payment, that is fine. We are working on that. In fact, recently the finance minister in a conversation indicated that they are working on some money for on acquiring the land, which means that probably the money will be available. We may not need to pay compensation for all the land.
Do we have an estimate of how much we need for compensation?
Yes, the estimation that I saw was the entire land. Now we can take away the wetlands. If we take away the wetlands, the calculation will change significantly. I mean, 1/6 of it, but still do what we intended to do with it.
As of now, how much do we?
But if it's 13, it is 1.2 billion Ghana cedis. 1.2 billion Ghana cedis. You can convert it into dollar and see that it is big, but not outrageous. So that's what government is helping us do, and I know they are very. The Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, they are working very hard on that. We are hoping that we will resolve that and then look at the compensation issue.
So you
I believe that
currently, what is really, shall I use our local way of using the word, standing in between you and your dreams and aspirations for us as a country is the starting of land acquisition, and beyond that, compensating people properly and adequately.
Well put.
To be able to then start.
Well put.
So as of the time that the previous government cut the sword, as of now, that area, how does it look?
It looks like as it was in the beginning, and now it shall ever be. Well with that, and amen. That's how it is. But what we have done,
Sorry,
I am sorry. I have some humor. It's my father. My father is a very humorous person, and my mother too.
That's interesting. So we cut sword about nothing for nothing, basically.
Precisely. So what we have done, in fact, recently, those who are doing fertilizer, they did some drone review of the land to see where they are, I mean, the land, the area where their project could fit and all that. So I'm happy that, in fact, recently President Mahama spoke about the land issue. when the Western Region House of Chiefs went there, and that was so good for us. I mean, it was so good. It was very reassuring. This project is a good project. I know it can be scary in terms of the size and all that, but if Malaysia is doing it, and if Singapore and other places, what is it? And it is not government budget that builds that.
Yeah, but at least, okay, so November is just around the corner, and the budgets for next year will be read. Yeah. How much are you pushing at least to find a certain amount, at least a certain amount be committed to the compensation? Because as well, and from our conversation, it looks to me as though the real thing that you need is compensation to be able to make progress.
I don't think the real thing is the compensation.
Okay.
I think the real thing is to say that we have agreed on this, because we have an MOU. Recently, we had an MOU with a company called Mineshaft that offered to give us 150 million or so cedis, which is big for starters.
Starters, what particularly? What would they give you?
But 300 million in all. Part will be to resettle some communities into a different area, and then also start paying compensation. It is not for the land itself, but compensation for properties that are on the...
What to be in it for Mineshaft then?
Mineshaft, they want to also be part of this building of the project.
Okay.
And so some of the money will also sell part of the land to them for their project. So that will be worked out. So
will you be subleasing some part of the land?
Oh, yes.
You will?
Yes, because if you want to build, let's say a refinery, we have to lease part of the land to you. And the reason we want to acquire this entire land is that you know how things work. If you acquire 5,000 hectares, for example, but 5,000 will be fine for us, or hectares. But if you acquire 5,000 acres, and they know that this high value, high quality project is coming there, me as a private man, I'll go and acquire the rest. And then the next time that you need the land, the price would have gone through the roof, and it would have changed the dynamics of the project, the cost of the project. That is why we believe that it is good for government to acquire the land. It doesn't mean acquire and use. You acquire the land so that there's no encumbrance when anybody wants it. However, if we are not using it at that time, people can still use that for non-permanent crops. The land could still be used.
I used to put a lot of premium on MOUs until the foreign minister put a different meaning to MOUs. They're quite friendly, if I want to go by the definition. This MOU by this company, is it that, what is it looking like for you? Have they made some commitments?
Yes, they have, but the issue is we need to show that we have the land.
Yeah?
Because the person has...
if you don't compensate, how will you get the land?
No, you can, if the land is acquired, then as a condition of total acquisition, then you pay the compensation. You can even say, I have this money in an escrow. So once we have the land, EI that covers the land, then you kick in the details. And in fact, then we can even go into agreement. Like you, I also have a funny feeling about MOUs. Because MOUs are friendly. They're like your love letter.
They're very humanitarian.
Yes.
Right.
So we are hoping, and we are counting on the process, the other institutions to help us. Our minister is very actively working with Health Minister John Jinapo, very pushing for us. Our deputy minister is also, the deputy minister for energy and green transition, also doing well for us in that area. And now the minister, and one minister that I need to mention his name, her name actually, Minister Ajari, the trade and industry and agribusiness. Because there is petrochemical industry, he has become so excited and calling every day and saying, well, how are you doing and all that. Our Minister, Lands and Natural Resources, also very, very active. For him, it's important that these things happen.
When you walk into meetings with investors, how confident are you to be able to have very, very strong conversations with them to woo them to want to buy in? Because, of course, you're still at the point where land acquisition is just a conversation, really. You're hopeful, but are you able to engage investors? And if so, how far have you been able to go with them? I hear you about manshaft, but I mean, it's not only manshaft you would require or need, right?
No, we have undertaken a lot of investor wooing tours. Well, not a lot, actually, two main ones. And then we have investors also coming down to understand. When this idea broke, there were a lot of people who were interested. They're interested of building a petrochemical plant or moving their refineries from somewhere to the hub, taking advantage of Ghana's current conditions. So we have an agreement for 12 billion construction of the phase 1. That one is an agreement. But this agreement, the fear is that if we don't get the land, then they can tell, well, we have had this thing, nothing is happening. So that's why I'm excited that some work is going on. And I believe that in no time, the land issue will be resolved. When we go out, we don't emphasize on, because we know we'll get the land.
Okay,
we know the land issue will be resolved.
Yeah.
So, and we are doing it in the interest of the investors, because we don't want them to go talking to various private landowners and then having multiple sale of land and all that. It is important that the investor has a clean title to the land. And if it's held by government, then it's very easy. So that's what we are doing.
I see you have a soft spot for Singapore, because I see that you had facilitated some businesses as well to attend that Africa-Singapore Business Forum. How did that come up for you?
No, I think this is even not the first time.
Okay.
I think in 2023 or so, there was a trip with private sector people who wanted to actually create interaction, create B2B in Singapore and Malaysia and all that. So this year, the president was going to Japan, and then from there, Singapore. And we were also planning to go to Malaysia in addition. So we advertised that those who are interested, and there's an opportunity for you to have B2B. And I tell you, the top level people who attended, I mean, strategic investment, Toby Afeda's company, they attended, and I would say it's, in a low tone, that Toby Afeda himself was there.
I see.
He was there. And then we had some business people, high-level business. I haven't gotten their permission, so I don't want to mention their names. But they were there and they were excited. Some were really happy that they did go. Some sort of created some business interactions.
If the 2026 budget is read in November and you do not see a clear-cut allocation to a portion of this your dream, what will be your plan B?
Oh, we have plan B along with the plan A. You don't wait for the first one to go before you. We have the plan B is to get private sector to pre-finance that. In fact, were it not for the fact that, because we are in IMF, you can't ask any, bank to give you debt to do that. We could have done that, but no, we are doing private sectors who would pre-finance that for whatever they need in the for instance, if you are coming to build your refineries and tank farms and all that, and you are very committed, you can pre-finance that amount. The 1.2 billion, all of that is in a way chicken feed for those type of investment. Where for someone who is coming up with $12 billion, for example. So we are in conversation on that. All we need is that government has agreed that, and the community people have agreed that this portion of land will be acquired by government. And then we will run with it.
When you wake up in the morning every day, what's that scare? I know that you say that this dream in itself is quite scary, but for you who has been given that responsibility, what scares you the most about this?
First, the dream is not scary. The dream is exciting.
It's exciting.
It's exciting because I think we are dreaming big. Because why could Singapore dream that way and be successful? Why could Malaysia dream that way and be successful? And we cannot dream. We have to dream small. No. So I am excited by that dream, and I'm passionate about that. But when I wake up, and in fact, when I sleep, I pray to God that please, let's find a way of getting this. And this will benefit Ghana and Africa. There's so much benefit that this will happen. And maybe people don't understand us very well. And so that's what I do. So I wake up knowing or looking for what is the best way to do it. What should we change to ensure that this dream comes off? This is a future thing. This is for the future, not for me.
When this becomes successful, it will employ about how many people?
The estimate, if we have all the 3 phases constructed, we're estimating that about 780,000 direct and indirect jobs will be created. I saw on the network somewhere that somebody said, but you're always talking about this big employment, but I'm not seeing any employment. You know, people are impatient, and I understand them. So I say that if the Malaysian phase 1 attracted over 80,000 employees, then our phase 1 may even attract more, because Malaysians are more technologically inclined than us. They are more likely to include technology in the way they work. We probably will use more human element to do that. So I see opportunity for this employment. I mean, coming once we have unleashed the phase 1, once we have announced that we have acquired the land. Now we say we have the land. We tell the investors we have the land, but have we completely acquired it? And this is the work that we are doing now.
It must be really complex for the land acquisition. I hear you have made the points, but now it's hitting me hard because it's been months, and especially if you say that in 2023, the then president actually cut short for it, which means that it's not entirely new on the papers. Have you had the opportunity to interact with the president himself face to face to paint the clear picture, axe picture as it is? Because if there was a certain amount that was supposed to have been used, at least to start the processes, and there's nothing existing like that, I'd have thought that it would just be a call to the finance minister. Our president, he reads a lot. And he's watching what we're talking about here. Okay, watch it, JoyNews.
Yeah, so don't ever think that he doesn't know what's going on. I have been with him before when a map was given him, and he was like describing the map, and I said, Your Excellency, are you a geographer? And he's not, but he knows it. I have been with him when he's spoken about roads in this country, and all the nooks and crannies, the roads everywhere, he knew. I said, how did you know? He said, look, I've been around for some time. So yes, he's very much aware. I haven't sat down with him on this specifically.
Would you love that?
He has actually asked me to come and do that sometime. So at the appropriate time, and as soon as it is possible, we will do that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
It's the last quarter of the year.
Yes.
What are the plans for the hub?
Yes. Interestingly, yesterday we did our work plan for the. You mean the last quarter? Mm-hmm. Yes. One.
I don't mind if you give me more than that. But
one, we are going to focus a lot of attention on acquiring the land. That's what we're going to do. And two, we'll continue with our investor relations management, because you have investors who keep calling that what's happening, and you have to manage that kind of relations. We also have stakeholder relations to manage at the Jomro, where the project is going to be. Try and allay the fears. I know the challenge of new things. When things are coming. I remember in my own village when a mine was coming there for the first time, there was so much struggle. So because there was a fear of the unknown, and so you need to explain this. You need to engage the communities to understand that this is for the future. This is for the present. It is going to enhance your livelihood. It's not taking away your livelihood. And even how, when payments are made, you have to manage it. I have witnessed situations where payments have been made, big ones, and within a short time it's gone. So you need to assess those type of things. So we are doing that. We are also supporting our communities with some corporate social responsibility projects just to...
Oh, really? For example?
Water is life, and we are working with them. Some of them, even this internet, getting the internet in some areas so bad. We're working with those internet providers, linking them up with the communities, and a few other things that we are going to be doing. And of course, training ourselves to be ready for the big day.
Have you relocated? Where are you located?
Yeah. We have, and this is very important. We used to be on the 335 place, I think on the eighth floor. And we found that place to be very beautiful, very nice, but it was too small for us, given that the corporation will be expanding. Two, we were looking for how to cut costs, how to be more efficient. Let me not say cut costs, but to be more efficient and effective, which include cutting costs. So we looked for a place whose rent was much better or cheaper
than the
previous one. So we have moved into 26 Akokosa Street, in a location which is bigger, and some people who have come there think it's much more beautiful and actually reflecting on a petroleum hub. We are paying much less for that, but we have bigger space. Please, landlord, don't come to me because I say we are paying much less. Otherwise, you come and say, then I'm taking my difference.
So now you're much more comfortable to operate.
Now we have an office, yes.
Okay. I mean, since you took over, have you been able to figure out exactly what went wrong with the previous government? Was it just political will? Was it just, some people just like to dream and not follow through to see the dream become a reality? What do you think was the challenge?
I think the whole Petroleum Hub thing is about five years old. So we celebrated our 5th anniversary only recently. And so it's a new institution, so to speak. And then I think getting to the election time, politicians talk big. There were a lot of projects that were commissioned that were non-existent and all that. So I thought it was one of the projects that they knew was not going to happen, but they should do that to get the political verve around that and to garner some votes, even though it didn't work that way. So I think much as they probably would have loved to have the hub, they also politicized it a bit, because you should have known that you have your 200 million CDs there. The president, the minister should have come out and say, oh, we are sorry, we don't have that, so we know. But the community members and a lot of people, but that place, the land has been acquired, it has been paid for, why are you still doing this? So now the burden is on us to sort of say that, look, even though there was a sword cutting, when you cut sword, but the political sword cutting that occurred in the past, sometimes the sword was cut and then that's it. Sometimes the sword remained in there.
Dr. Robin, so I hear you say that this dream is big. You do not envisage that the entire project will be done maybe anytime soon. But at least, how much of this project do you see coming into fruition under your tenure?
My tenure is at the pleasure of the president. So if the president says, Tony, I want you to do something else.
Let's open it up then.
But let's say that the first, I think we should have been advanced in building up our phase 1. I also feel that we should have a fertilizer plant, because looking at the kind of preparations that I've seen, the company recently did an agreement with the Ministry of Agric for offtake, that when they produce, a certain percentage will be taken by the Ministry of Agric. And I think they've also had an agreement with the Cocoa Board also for offtake. So I am looking at seeing this. I'm hoping to see this happen, even if it's not fully constructed. Some advanced work has been done, yes. And then maybe would have also started the construction of settlements in the area. We have resettled a few people. We have resettled the people. There's a village called Old Kablesuazo. It's just on the coast of, at the outskirts of our project. In fact, the project has agreed to resettle them on purely humanitarian grounds. Because if you look at where the community is, it's an old community. There are not too many people there. They are just along the ocean, the beach. And then behind them, there is a lagoon. So when the tides are high from the other side, it's pushing them here. And then when the lagoon also rises, it's pushing them there. So they made appeals, several appeals. And so once we have things going, it will be one of the...
Well, the earliest and first project.
Yes, to be researched.
That's nice.
There's land there already because they are compatriots. They have, it's a two Galamsey, old Galamsey and new Galamsey. The new one is there. So all we have to do is to resettle, go and build facilities for them, amenities for them to join them. And we are very keen to doing that. It will be very good for the community.
It will be a travesty if I do not engage you on illegal mining.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's talk about illegal mining. From where you sit, how do you assess the current fight against illegal mining?
Let me be frank. It's a challenging situation. But I honestly think that this government has a very genuine heart and has a proper program to fight this. And the reason I say this is this. In fact, most of the things that government intends to do were thought through in 2015, 2016. The issue of geofencing, the issue of recategorization, the issue of education, and even cooperative mining were thought through in 2015, in 2016. It was discussed with the president. So it has been thought through. In 2020, we went for elections. We looked at some of these items and discussed that and said, this, we should do it this way, that. We didn't win the elections, so we still had it. And getting to the elections this year, I was the chairman of the small scale, of the mining, not small scale, mining committee.
And campaign strongly.
And the campaign, yes. So I have been involved in this. I know that this has been thought through. Unlike the previous government, and I'm saying it on authority because when the previous government came, I was there. I was still the Minerals Commission CEO. They came with a program called MMIP, Multilateral Mining Improvement Project. And then I asked, so what does it entail? How do you say, oh, you are going to populate it. You are going to populate it. So it means they didn't have a plan, but they, but they had a name of a plan. And so most of the things that we are going to populate were the handing over note that we had written, which is what the present system is doing now. So I see commitment. I see here genuineness. I see commitment. I know it is taking time.
But do you think that at this point in our lives, in the fight against Galamsey, it is commitment that we would like to see? Especially, you have just drawn my attention to the fact that these were discussed as far as 2015.
In 2016,
yes. So,
like,
well.
Yes, internally.
So I would have thought that once you're revisiting something that you have discussed already, you're in power now. All you'll be doing is implementing.
Yes,
my question
precisely what they're doing. I mean, it won't be immediate.
Why not?
I mean, the only thing that people are talking about is kind of, and it's quite worrying when you see the water bodies. I mean, and again, if you listen to me in the campaign time, and if you listen to the president in those days, we said, when we come, the water bodies and the forest, no-go area. So the government has declared, in fact, don't quote me wrongly, but the government has declared state of emergency on the water bodies and the forest areas. They say it's a red zone, no go, don't go there. It's a military zone, sort of. Now, the issue is the land, what is on the land, and what we can do to reduce the turbidity of the water bodies. So once we are able to stop people from either washing and putting that in the water bodies, or washing, doing the champagne on the water bodies, you can get it even settle a bit with time. Once there's calm, you see that it will be settling before you apply whatever can be applied. But I believe strongly that, and with the push that is going on, the public push and your love letter, I am sure that, I know the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources doesn't sleep. This man doesn't sleep because of this, and everybody is working. I know that we are impatient because this has been there for a long time. Sometimes I don't want a politicization of it. NPP doesn't have the moral right. NDC probably doesn't. So they are all, corporate. But they should stop this. And this was I've done here. I come here, so do it. When you give license to people to go and mine in the forest, and then at the same, when you are not there, say, don't take the license off, and you're putting pressure on the president to take it off. The president said, don't allow anybody to mine in the forest. He has done it.
I'll attempt.
The law will be changed.
This will be my final question. I'll attempt to see if I can get a yes or no. Yeah. Do you think that as a government, as a party, then you should have been measured in your promises in the fight against Galamsey?
I'm sure people are going to measured.
Yes.
Look, are you going to say that the public should be measured?
No.
Because it's a challenge. When you see it from afar, it was outrageous for everybody. And so you couldn't be measured in
the promises.
I mean the promises.
Yes, in the fight, the promise, how you promised Ghanaians you were going to fight it head on. Do you actually, you have just said that there should be, the government has in a way declared a state of emergency.
On the water bodies. I'm not saying it has declared though, because I haven't said, but the point is that on the water bodies, what the government has said is equivalent to declaring...
What's difficult about doing same for the lands?
The lands. I think that the president has given enough power to the people who are dealing with it.
Okay.
Therefore, but we need to do more. The one thing that I see missing is that we are making small-scale mining, and I blame small-scale miners themselves, look like something that is completely illegal. If we were to showcase those who are doing it legally, and say, look at these guys who are doing it legally, they are not harming the water bodies. They are doing it in our campaign. In my dream of the place, I told the people that, in fact, it should be possible for a mining site, a small-scale mining site, to build a daycare center around, because there are women who are there who have children. I've seen that. So this is a complex thing, and for me, the commitment is important. The president has been very robust about that. We are not getting there. We are not seeing the result, but I think it's just about time.
Dr. Tony Obin, thank you so much, and I wish you and the team at the Petroleum Hub Development Corporation all the best.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your...
You're watching the AM show. Please stay with me. There's more on the show. Yeah, right. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is the AM show, and I'm excited. Why? Because someone just brought some ice. We've got Manuel Corantin, of course, celebrated journalist. Manuel, how are you doing?
Hello, MFR. You're looking really good.
Thank you. After that, I should take some hugs from the BBC. How was it going for you?
It's going pretty well. Thank you for asking it. I mean, it's been incredible, the journey, that we've been on. And many thanks to the multimedia group and JoyNews in particular for, the support. And I reckon it's being the breeding ground for myself. This is where I cut my teeth. And I couldn't be prouder to have been part of
Oh, we're so proud of you, and also very encouraging. But what brings you to Ghana? Ghana issue. What are you
Tell me
doing
about
here?
it.
What are you doing
when we
here?
enter the airspace, it's really hot.
It is really hot.
But I appreciate it, because when you're being on the other side and, you're doing sub-zero temperatures, sometimes it can be
but surely something must have triggered this trip to Ghana.
Absolutely. So what you don't know is that when I'm not doing journalism, I run an organization called Mental Pulse Africa. Now, Mental Pulse Africa is Ghana's foremost employee well-being and mental health advocacy organization. So our mission is to make employee well-being and mental health a mainstay of employment conversations in the country. I'm not sure if any of these things came up in your interview with your former employers, with your current employers, but You know, when you talk about employees' conditions of service, we start with, okay, how much are you paying me? Do I get leave days? That sort of thing. There isn't any recourse to whether or not your well-being, whether it is your physical well-being, whether it is your mental well-being, generally holistic well-being is not considered at all as part of the conversations in employment in Ghana particularly. And having worked here in Ghana and also now in the UK, I've come to appreciate pretty much, you know, the stark difference in terms of how much emphasis is placed on employees' well-being and its linkage to productivity and the bottom line in the UK as against what is done in Ghana. And I can tell you that there is so much more room for improvement in Ghana.
That's a daring conversation. Let's go there.
There is so much more room for improvement. And so with this organization, Mental Pulse Africa, that is what we are trying to do. We're doing outreaches. We're doing, you know, sensitization conversations to make sure that employers, not only employers, but government, as well as the employees themselves, because, I mean, it is your health, anyways. And so much as you want to outsource that sort of support to government as policy makers and regulators, and then the employers as those who are keeping you in work, you also need to take a bit of responsibility on yourself. So we've got a podcast which we are launching. There's a brand new podcast with some of your very favorite people on there. So I mean, we have the likes of MFA Pau, we have the likes of Daniel Dati with the BBC, we have your very own Mamisi Nyameche Thompson on there. There's Ben, I mean, the list is really, really, you know, star-studded.
And essentially, they're going to be talking about...
We're talking about employee well-being and mental health. So they speak to policymakers, they speak to, you know, activists, they speak to former employees or current employees who have either lost their job or lost some sort of responsibility because of perhaps they are dealing with a mental health condition or, you know, a health situation. So that is one of the things that we are doing. The Mental Pulse podcast, you can check it out on YouTube. It's on all of our platforms there, the Mental Pulse podcast. And the main thing that has brought me here, apart from the podcast, is what we call the Ghana Health and Labour Summit.
Right.
Now, the Ghana Health and Labour Summit is the country's foremost gathering of everybody within the health and employment mix in a country. Now, many a time, what we see is we have the health specialists, you know, doctors, nurses, the ministers, the sector people meet and have a health conference. Another time we have, you know, the employment folks, the jobs people, they also meet and have a you know, conversation. There's not much of what I'll call synergy between the health and then the labor part. But what our studies at Mental Pulse Africa has established is that there is a direct link between, you know, what you do for work and how you feel as a person, whether it is your mental health or even your physical health. Because there are some jobs that are physically draining and demanding. They exact so much energy from you. And so, you know, there's the need for us to sort of bridge the gap between your health and your work. And so we're bringing all of the people who matter, including the Minister of Employment, Minister of Labour, Jobs and Employment. The Honourable Dr. Abdurrashid Pelpo. He will be our special guest of honor and then our keynote speaker. We are doing this in collaboration with the University of Ghana School of Public Health. And we're doing that because, I mean, it's the foremost institution in the country that deals with public health situation. We think this is indeed a public health situation. Let me shock you, MFA. 1 in 2 of the deaths that we currently record in Ghana are linked to non-communicable diseases. So, I mean, you can think about your diabetes, your hypertension, these cardiovascular diseases, and so on and so forth. Currently, the numbers are what, 43 to 47% of all deaths in Ghana are recorded with a certain linkage to non-communicable diseases. The question is, where are they coming from?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, did the data actually show
absolutely
the age gaps as well?
Once you drill down the numbers, you realize that these conditions are linked to the sort of work that people do, or lifestyles really, which includes the work that they do. So primarily you have people living really sedentary lifestyles. You know, there's not much activity. People who work in banks, or, you know, offices and so on. There's a lot of sitting. There's not much exercising. And most people are essentially surviving on what I call junks and fumes, really. You know, you're
shouting at me this morning. My Lord just came to shout at me today.
and myself, I'm a culprit. Well, I used to be anyways. And I reckon because I didn't know better, right? I used to survive on energy drinks.
Oh, yes.
You know, these...
You're not about to change my mind about coffees because I love my coffee.
We love coffee. We love coffee. I do love my coffee.
It has to be kicking like karate in the cup.
Absolutely. So absolutely take your coffee, but also balance it with, you know, some sort of healthy living, some healthy lifestyle. The problem, however, is that the work demands are so much so that people have very little to no time to even go and take care of their own health. Because, listen, for somebody who needs to report to work at 7 a.m., Accra traffic, I mean, it means you are getting out of your house before it's 6 a.m. And if you close at 5, it means you are in traffic, you're getting home at 7, 8, and sometimes you're carrying your laptop with you, you're in bed, you're working. And for you who does a morning show, your research is going deep into the night. You know what I mean? And so there's not much space for you to recoup as a person. At the time I spoke to a gentleman who told me, look, he had 145 days in annual leave. Do you know how long you need to work?
Oh my God.
To be able to accumulate 145 days of annual leave, which is illegal, by the way, because the labor law prohibits, you know, that's accumulation of annual leave. But it tells you, just as you have a machine or a car, I know you take your car for servicing every now and again. They told me she drives a Jaguar. So you take a Jaguar for servicing every now and again, right? But with your human being, you take it for servicing. You know, you do your checkups. And most often than not, you realize that these very preventable ailments don't get prevented, and by the time they are being caught, because there are symptoms definitely showing now.
It's far advanced.
Far advanced.
Oof, yeah.
They are either having to, you know, for people who are diabetic, it means, you know, some amputation, and some people are not even lucky. They die.
Yeah.
And we're losing that.
Yeah.
So what we're doing at the Ghana Health and Labour Summit is to, first of all, have that very frank conversation about what is the problem, how is it emerging, and then begin to prefer solutions to that. We want to do what we call the Workplace Wellbeing Declaration, which will be a manifesto that will essentially mandate employers, governments, everybody within the mix to try and commit to it that as employers, this is what we are going to do to support our employees. As employees, this is what we are going to do to support ourselves to be healthy. And as governments, what we are going to do to make sure that we are able to stem the tide in non-communicable diseases.
Well
so
done.
That's what.
Well done. Very thought through. Very well done. And so this is happening on the 9th of October. What form and shape will it take? I've heard you tell me that it's going to be a high-stake level conversation. I mean, we're excited about the special guest of honor.
Absolutely.
But what would it look like as well?
So this is a day's packed summit at the University of Ghana Medical Center. They have a place called the Simulation Facility. They have a beautiful conference facility there that we're doing this conference at. And we're going to have keynote speeches, obviously, from the Labour Minister. Also going to have technical presentations by the Ghana Health Service. We're going to have from the Mental Health Authority. And then we're going to later have presentations or panel discussions. So we're trying to divide the conversation and do the panel discussions, one on health, to ask a question, are workplaces sort of turbocharging or really fueling the non-communicable disease burden that we have in the country? And then later have a labor panel and ask and begin to prefer solutions. So how do we fix it? Are we going to use leadership? Are we going to use policy? Are we going to use law? How are we going to do that, sort of synergize the attempt to fix the really what I call a broken system, you know, to make sure that people are not living to work, you know, but they are working to live.
To live, right.
Your entire life must not necessarily be your work. And I just need to share this story because, like I mentioned to you earlier, I myself used to be a culprit, and at some point I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And this is the first time I'm saying it publicly. So, and you can see that I'm not a very old man. And so, and I don't have it in my family either.
Yeah.
So it was a question of, you know, yes, a very young man, why are you having type 2 diabetes? It was my lifestyle, because I was, like I said, surviving on these, you know, fizzy drinks, I don't want to mention brands, but energy drinks and so on and so forth. You know what I mean?
We know.
So I've had to walk it back with the support of my medics and physicians. I've had to walk it back with a massive change in lifestyle, activity and so on. And I think that a lot of people are either at that point, getting to that point, or perhaps have just crossed
gone beyond it.
And we need to begin to walk it back. And so that's what we are doing. And the Labour panel is going to be moderated by City FM's Umaru Sanda.
All right.
Amadou. It's going to have, you know, some really technical people. We're having the General Secretary of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Dr. David Tinkran Chum, who is going to articulate the concerns of the organized labor, particularly the nurses and midwives, who are really the biggest sect of workers in the health sector. We are also having Mrs. Louise Ajiman Banning, who is the Chief HR at SIC Life Insurance, bringing us an HR perspective. From the Ghana Employees Association, we're having Dr. Victor Abe, who is an occupational safety and health specialist who consults for the Ghana Employees Association. And then we're going to have Dawuda Ibrahim Brahma. He's the Chief Labor Officer. So we're having all the people who matter in the conversation.
Very well presented.
We're going to ask them the tough questions and ask them to prefer solutions for us. And then on the health panel, we're having Benis Abubeidu Lansa, your former colleague,
to moderate that
panel.
Great.
We're having the Non-Communicable Disease Alliance sending us a rep. We're having Dr. Leonard Batiama. He's a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana School of Public Health. We're having Dr. Nanekia Dansoa Nyama, who is a psychiatrist, also speaks for the Mental Health Authority, and a former MP, Dr. Dixon Adomako Kisi, who himself is a practicing, physician. So we're having all of the bases covered. We've assembled a crack team of, experts who know their stuff and are going to help us understand the issues.
That's
and
really
then,
thoughtful of you.
Proper solution.
Very thoughtful. It's at 9 a.m. And so with all of this, sounds really nice and beautiful. Do I have to pay to be part?
Well, everything has been paid for by the blood of Jesus.
Well, I'll still go ahead and clap.
So this very important conversation with all of these, experts attending is absolutely free. All you need to do is to go on our website, mentalpulseafrica.org/GHL-summit. So Mentapulse is mental without the L at the end. So MENTAPUL.
What happened to the L?
SE.
By all means, take the L out. It's the only way you can find it.
By all means, take the L out. Or just Google Ghana Health and Labour Summit. It's going to pop up.
Sure.
And then you can register. Look, I can't do this without mentioning the very, very thoughtful and supportive partners who have helped us to be able to put all of this program together. So we have, obviously, from the ministry, from government, the Ministry of Labour, Jobs and Employment. I'm really grateful to them. We have the NCD's Alliance, we have the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management, Ghana. We have the Ghana Employees Association. We have a Band Center for Global Policy. We have the Commonwealth Youth Council. We've got Merban Capital. We've got Alkes Communications, She Unfolds Signature Events, Echo Africa. We've also got Health Factor, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Zoe, Premium Dental, and then MAB International Hospital. MAB International Hospital, I have a special story with them because obviously that is apparently where I got diagnosed.
It will live with you forever.
But the good thing is that we know that it's difficult for you to go out of your workplaces and get screened. So we are bringing the practitioners, the health practitioners to the place.
For free health screening?
Everybody who attends will get the opportunity, provided they are interested, to be screened. We're going to take your vitals and help you have a snapshot of what is happening in your body even before you sit and listen to the really good things that we have planned.
I mean, I think you should love yourself enough to want to do this for yourself, at least. Get a free health screening after you've engaged in this conversation, at least one that will be good for you. as well. So 9th of October, 9 a.m., go onto the website, Mental Pulse Africa, or maybe you should just Google Ghana Health and Labour Summit 2025, and I'm sure everything that Manuel probably didn't remember to talk about here will pop up, but I like to think he's really covered everything. It will happen at the University of Ghana.
At the University of Ghana Medical Center.
You're amazing. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you very much for having me. We are really grateful that the multimedia group is supporting us, as a media partner. And so everything that will happen there, you will see. You
will hear it. It will be a date. I'll be there and I'll come and gist you if you don't get to attend. But Manuel, thank you. You're still watching the AM show. We're nearly wrapping. Please stay. You're watching the AM show, and of course, I cannot wrap this morning without you having your say. So call us and have your say. 030-221-1691, 030-221-1691, or you can just change the 1 to 2. And the number will be on the screen, so you can just call. A few of the things that have been happening: Chairman Wuntumi headed for court this morning on charges of mining without licenses as well, and the barest minimum uprooting trees. And as well, the New Patriotic Party has turned down public hearing organized by the Public Utility Regulatory Commission, PURC, on proposals to increase utility tariffs for the year 2025 through to 2029 period. They say the proposals are quite unwarranted and insensitive to the plight of Ghanaians. And also, another thing I think you'd be interested in to share your mind and your thoughts on is the minority has criticized President John Mahama recent engagement with the civil society organizations on illegal mining, saying it is publicity, gimmicks, or stunts. Do you agree? Of course, this was aimed at deflecting attention from his government's failure to tackle the Galamsey menace. This is what they say. Have your say. 030-221-1691, or you can just slash it to 2. We have had quite an engagement on these particular issues, but quite centered on the Galamsey matter, where the NPP thinks that really the government is just playing gimmicks. So let's talk to Osman. Osman, good morning, and thank you for calling us this morning. What's your mind?
Good. So, on the national perspective. And this morning, I saw the presenter who was hosting AM show when an NDC representative was trying to accuse her of the fact that they used the president's picture in developing a particular flyer. NDC people think that it was the way to go. In fact, if we are to fight the issue on a collective basis, the president must lead the fight. So why are they saying the president's picture will not be there? Mahama was president before. That is what a lot of Ghanaians have forgotten. During the time Mahama was president, Galamsey was in Ghana. The then Minister of Land and Natural Resources admitted to the whole nation that they were unable to fight Galamsey. So once Mahama is back again, we should not make it to be like a particular government created a problem. Let's all come together and fight the problem. But in every particular single show, you see the government and his appointees trying to accuse the past administration. If we are fighting an issue, will you continue blaming the people who have created the problem? There is a saying that when a problem occurs, find a solution to the problem and stop blaming the people who created the problem. If you cannot be able to solve the problem and keep blaming the people who created the problem, then I don't think you are going to solve the problem either.
Asman.
And today, Ghanaians voted FPP out of power because FPP failed. And that is the truth. So if government power has been given to you and you keep blaming the one they have voted out because the person has failed, are you also telling Ghanaians that you are incapable? I end my submission here. If NDC think they are incapable, they should let Ghanaians know.
Right. Thank you so much, Osman. Let's now speak to Harry. Hi, Harry. Good morning. Thank you for calling us.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, in fact, you are doing well. But to say Galamsey is a very, very, very disease of we, the Ghanaians. All of us need to come together and fight this fight. In fact, seeing the water, how our people there can drink this. So it's not NPP, it's not NPP. It's all of us, all the media. But sometimes I feel very bad for Joy. If NPP time, you were having that fight like this, like now we are not here. By change of government, you have changed. But that is not it. Let's all fast fight together. It is not good. Even contumely is now scarce for us to buy. We are scared to eat contumely. So we are begging you. If you invite people to your studio, today I listened to you. You did well, but it is small thing that remains from you. You are too much on NPP. You are putting yourself with NPP too much. Let it show. Prove to them that what they did is not good. Present is not good. Don't sell our right to NPP to be asking questions of who will do this, who do that. So I'm begging you, arrest my case. Thank you.
Harry, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Let's go to Koforidi and speak to Kwesi. Hi, Kwesi. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I'm very grateful for having me. I want to react to the ongoing conversation. And sincerely, I think that the current President Mahama is paving way for so many things to happen. And the media are studying. Why am I saying this? This Galamsey issue has been with us for more than 8 years. And you, the general, here talking about it. Now that we have a who has opened the actual listening.
Kwesi, if you can just reposition yourself so I can hear you. I hope I didn't lose Kwesi. Unfortunately, I've lost Kwesi. But let's engage Maxwell. Good morning. You're calling us from Kumasi. What do you have to say this morning?
Please, good morning to your viewers and good morning to yourself. Please, I am a gold buyer. I am engaged in the sales and purchase of gold. You understand? But the government is issuing licensing to people who are in towns and villages where there are no small-scale mining. So the rationale behind all these licensing things is that, let's say, a town like German or Iron Free, there are no licensed small-scale miners over there. And so if you issue license to buyers over there, then literally you are telling them to buy from illegal mining. And the number of buyers keeps doubling. Where are they buying the gold from? You understand? If you are giving licensing out to buyers, you should, by way of investigating, know whether or not where they are buying the gold, there are licensed small-scale miners over there. You understand? There are so many villages, you see people buying gold. Gold board has given them licensing. Licenses, but there are no registered small-scale miners over there.
Okay.
So where are they getting the gold from? So the whole thing gold board is doing is confusing the system because they want the gold. So they are pushing so many buyers in the system, and that is motivating them to mine illegally. Once the gold is coming, they will also buy.
I see. Right, Maxwell, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Something to actually really look on and chew on. Kojo, you're calling us from Takwa in Swayemu. What's on your mind this morning?
Good morning, and thank you for having me. I wish I could have more time to talk, but in this limited time, let me make it fast and speak it. Let me talk about this Galamsey issue. Actually, we are on the ground here. I wish one day we could have time and invite your station and talk about the Galamsey. You will have the very hard time to because from this I have.
Oh, Kojo, the network is not kind to you and I this morning. I'll try again, Kojo. Let's hear you. Sadly, I was unable to engage Kujo. He called us from Takwa in Saemu, trying to paint a clear picture of what's happening on grounds over there. But quickly before I wrap, a happy birthday to Amenuveve. He turns 1 today. We all pray for him that for God's preservation. And a happy birthday to my brother, Reverend Daniel Bogo of Kanda Assemblies of God Church. It is as well my prayer, the Lord enlarge your coast, prosper and keep you. And this is from Pastor Mauli. But most importantly, you are father to Amenuveve and he turns 1. A happy birthday to you, Amenuveve. But greatly, very generous of you for joining us this morning on the show. I am MFA Akosia Adeti, and Mamiesi Nyamecha Thompson is up next with News Desk.